Hello, everyone. I'm JustHearMeowt. Welcome to my channel. It's day 3 of the Brian Walshe trial, and the prosecution is trying to bore everyone to death with their witnesses, and the defense is trying to convince everyone that Brian is innocent because he didn't use the word murder and divorce in every single one of his Google searches. And I'll admit I'm getting a little miffed at the prosecution for their lack of redirect on very straightforward points. But the good news is I've got the entire day edited down to only an hour. And if you don't have time to watch 8 hours of court each day, then this live session is for you because you'll get everything you could want or need right here in less than a quarter of the time. If you don't know who Brian Walshe is, he's a moron who's on trial for the murder of his wife, Anna, who disappeared on New Year's Day, January 2023. Now you might ask, well, how do we know she's dead if she was never found? Well, she wasn't found because Brian dismembered her body and got rid of it in local area dumpsters. And that's not an allegation. He literally changed his plea to guilty on the charges related to lying to the police and dismembering her body just a few weeks before the trial began. But Brian is adamant that while he might have cut up his dead wife's body, he did not murder her. This is somewhat hard to believe, considering this genius used his MacBook to do Google searches such as, quote, can he be charged with murder without a body, end quote, quote, best way to dispose of body parts after a murder, and other searches related to the removal of DNA evidence, etc. And apparently went to the murder blog. I really can't wait to see what the defense comes up with on this one. And of course, before we begin, for those of you who are just joining us for the first time, this is a commentary channel meant to entertain and enlighten and inform, which means, of course, I will be pausing and talking during the video. And if you do enjoy what you see here, consider subscribing so you don't miss out on any of the fun. Make sure to check out the different playlists in the description of this video about the different subjects we cover, such as Sarah Boone, Lauren Armstrong, Diane Downs. The list is getting bigger every day. Basically, if they're an idiot and a criminal, we're going to cover them. So hello to everyone who's here with us live in the chat, and hello to the replay crew. Please remember to hit the like button so we can avoid all unnecessary situations that would follow. All right, let's go. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for your patience. There was a lot of editing today, so I was editing for the last 4 hours. I feel like. Maybe it just feels like that. Let me bring up our two guests. We have both X Derek and Suma here. Sorry you didn't get the Bromos intro there, X Derek, but I didn't know you were coming until the last minute. So let's just do this 1 second here. There we go. Now it's complete. How are you both?
Excellent. How are you?
Good.
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Oh, he spoke before I could get a soundbite out. All right. So where's my housekeeping? Okay. Yep. We don't have any interviews. There's nothing removed from today. So there's no link for another thing. Everything for the defense is in. Right. So I didn't do much editing. I just wanted to get their entire redirects because, I think they've got the tougher hill to climb, but I clipped out a lot of the prosecution stuff because it's mostly establishing this and everything. Right. But chapters will be added at the end after we're done. And don't forget, we are going, or I at least am going live every day. There's a day of trial unless something happens. And Suma goes live during the day covering the trial.
Sometimes.
Are you still doing that sometimes?
Well, today I sat it out because I wanted it to be a good trial day, and I figured if I don't cover it, it'll be good.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it worked. I mean, it was better than the last 2 days prior.
So since there's only an hour of material, I wanted to ask you about this. Like, I'm irritated at the prosecution for not pushing back more on. Well, it kind of. Let's let the digital expert finish because I think their follow-up is totally lame, like ridiculous almost to the standpoint. Which one is it? So we start with some Brian footage here. Just a sec. You know who he looks like? Reminds me of.
Who?
I think it's some cartoon owl. Like, is it the owl from like the Sword in the Stone, the Disney movie?
Oh,
like
maybe one of the Angry Birds.
Yeah, or an Angry Bird. I think. Well, doesn't the owl play Merlin or something? I don't know. There's something about those eyes.
Yes, you're right.
He is cartoonish. Uh-oh.
Did Hear Me Out freeze?
Yeah.
Great.
So did the owl.
Yeah, the owl froze as well.
Yeah.
I think Boom Shicky was saying that someone else looked like an owl. And I can't remember who it was now.
That's weird. My Chrome just shut down.
There's also two of you.
Yeah.
For that one. Okay. Remove add to stage. Where's we now?
Harsh, bro.
Why does it not think I'm the host? Okay, 1 second. Sorry, everyone. Let me just select it again, and I will get Suma back up here. There we go. All right, there's that. Now let's see. Where is this? There's no sound right now. Whew, that was close. And I tried reading his lips. I think what he's
Pop Owl, pretend just says.
What?
Tootsie Pop Owl.
Yeah, maybe. I know which owl you're talking about. I gotta look it up again, maybe. Do you think he says right here? He said something like, "I was exhausted." Right?
From what? Killing his wife?
Yeah. Or he said something like, "I had no idea," and then he's gonna say, "I love that about you guys. You do your own something." Right. Wait for it. And right here. Whatever. But the point is, he's smiling.
Time.
He's having the time of his life, apparently.
Time of his life. I had.
The stupid smile. This smile is always the same in every photo. Okay, so we have some court business ahead of it. They are talking about, there's a photo of the rug that's got Anna in it and a kid, and then the defense is like, well, we don't want that in there. You could just show the rug without Anna in it. And then the prosecution's like, well, do we just remove half of it? And then the defense is like, well, we'd rather not show Anna at all. We see the picture later in the trial. They talk about the fast out text her boyfriend and inference to the jury of if Brian saw them that night, because like this is the whole iMessage thing. And then the consciousness of guilt jury instruction, which is, as the judge says, as soon as you connect him to being the one that has lied to police and everything, then I would give the consciousness of guilt jury instruction, which means you can consider stuff he does after the crime as evidence that he did a crime before. Does that make sense? They don't have to, but they can.
Right. I thought, wasn't there a discussion of some video they were going to show of her on the floor playing with the kids?
So it's from a video. It's just a screenshot of
and why
that.
are they showing that?
Yeah,
it's to establish where it is in the house. It's the most innocuous reason ever.
And who wanted that in? The defense or the
prosecution wants to use it to show? I think maybe the carpet disappeared. Maybe, I don't know. And the defense doesn't want it in because they're like, we'll stipulate. And they're like, no, we're going to show it.
I feel like they're concentrating on odd things, but
yeah. Okay, so again, the audio is not great for this. I mean, he does a little bit better at the beginning here, but his co-counsel is terrible later.
A couple of recaps here. That binder that's been marked as Exhibit 79, the binder of the history that you included of the MacBook. And
for those of you who weren't here yesterday, this is the digital expert who's talking about the Google searches.
Array device. We can all agree it contains 3,677 records as you defined them yesterday.
Yes, well, half technically because they're duplicates. Shows the first one from the parsed and the second one from the car, but they're the same Same record, so it'd be about, what, 1,800-ish, realistically.
I don't understand your answer.
So if you look at the binder, it shows one record, say record number 1, shows the information, the parsed information, and then this record number 2 shows carved. It's the same date and timestamp, the same information, just a different location in the database. So it's almost duplicated.
Okay. Here's my question.
Yes.
In the binder that's been marked Exhibit 79, you listed 3,677 records.
Yes.
And it totals 1,034 pages.
You're welcome, Lefty.
I'll take your word. I don't have it in front of me, but yes.
Do you have a copy of it?
I don't up here with me now.
Yesterday, you testified to the binder that was admitted as Exhibit 80, and that was the regarding the iPad Mini.
Yes.
It involved 2 separate extractions.
Same extraction, but 2 different versions of the software, yes.
Wasn't it labeled Extraction 1 and Extraction 2?
I didn't label it that, but that's how it is labeled, yes.
In any event, it's clear now, isn't it, based on your forensic analysis, that the searches that were
he's
found
left the
on
podium.
iPad Mini were not conducted on the iPad Mini.
Yes, that is correct.
That you used the term sync yesterday, right?
Yes, that's correct.
And you used the word sync in the context of the searches based on your forensic analysis originating on the gray matter.
That is correct.
And when we say sync, and when you say sync, it means that, in part, that no one manipulated that iPad Mini with regards to all the searches that this jury's heard about.
That's correct, yes.
You told us yesterday that there are multiple records, as you defined it, records in this Exhibit 79 that have the same timestamp, correct?
For this binder here,
Exhibit 79, yes.
I mean, this is all a bunch of fluff, but the irritating part is that the lack of redirect.
Yes, that's correct.
And you told us specifically, if I heard you right, that does not mean that there were multiple searches with the identical timestamp, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And it does not mean that the website that's referred to in each one of those duplicate records, it doesn't mean that that website was visited twice.
Unless the visit count says twice, then yes, but like I said, that parsed and carved record, there's the same record of the same thing that happened, just different spots pulled from the database. So,
and you did not, in what's been marked Exhibit 79, you did not indicate to whoever looks at Exhibit 79 what were those duplicate records.
I did.
How'd you do that?
I spoke with the prosecution, or the ADAs, and explained what this is and how it.
I mean, was anyone confused by this yesterday? I understood it. They used 2 different softwares to analyze the extraction, and they produced.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter, but he's just saying, I testified to it on the stand.
Parses out the data and when it prints out.
What I'm asking you, though, is when someone opens up that book, let's just say someone like a juror, when they open up that book, there's nothing to indicate to them out of those 3,000 quote correct which one is duplicated or not.
Well, I just testified to it now and also on direct, and it also shows in the book the same date and time stamp, and I explained the parsed and carved records. I don't have a paper written report, if that's what you're trying to infer. Paper written, handwritten report, if that's what you're trying to infer.
I'm really not trying anything. I'm just asking you that if someone were to look at those 3,677 records, there's no term used that says this is a multiple, this is a duplicate of record 1 or record 2. It says nothing like that in the book, does it?
You can answer.
I don't fully understand. So you're asking if there's something that says that one's a duplicate and one's not?
I've asked, yes, that's what I'm asking.
By the same date and time stamp on the record, and as I explained, the parsed and carved, but I don't know if there's anything, like there's no key guide that says what it is.
Okay.
If that's what you mean.
And yesterday you also told us about something called redirects, correct?
Yes.
And that a redirect means that the computer or the device on its own, with the software, with the browser, redirected the user to another website.
When they click on a website, it can redirect, yes.
Okay. And it's the device and the software operating within the device that determines a redirect. It is not the user.
That is correct.
And you don't have anything in this 3,677 records. You don't have, we'll use your reference, an index or anything to indicate the reader of this Exhibit 79 what are redirects and what are not.
That's correct.
And you have no idea how many, quote, redirects occur within this Exhibit 79.
I thought he did say that yesterday, though. Like, he was calling out this as a redirect, right? On one of them. But, yeah, this is all such bullshit. Like,
just the few that I saw.
Redirected, it's because you're interested in that topic.
So I don't know. I don't have an exact number.
Okay. You would agree that with regards to Exhibit 79, that there was no activity on the gray MacBook between 3:50 a.m. and 4:52 a.m.
On what day?
January 1st of 2023.
Again, I'd have to double check. I remember there was Gmail usage around the 3 a.m. point, and then 4:52, there was some searches, but I don't know if there's anything in that time frame in between.
So what, if you will, sir, maybe you could check.
Council, next to you is side of the bench.
Yes, I have it here, sir. Thank you. Yes, you're correct. 3:50 a.m. is record 1947, and then the following record is 1948 at 4:52 a.m.
Yesterday, you testified that you recalled, or you thought you recalled, references to William Fasto within the MacBook data.
That's correct.
Do you know where that is?
No, I don't.
Can you indicate, well, you just said no, you don't. Trooper Guarino, if I represented to you that there is absolutely no reference to William Fasto within these 3,677 records, would you agree with that?
I don't know. I don't remember. I remember seeing it somewhere, but I don't know if it was in the MacBook. There's, like I said, a lot of data.
It's fair to say, isn't it, that your examination of exhibit that's contained in Exhibit 79, there's no indication that that MacBook and any user of that MacBook ever accessed Anna Walsh's iMessages.
See, can you tell what he's doing here?
No.
The defense.
No.
So he's being very, very precise. He's saying there's not a single search for this guy Fastow in this MacBook. He's not saying there are no searches for this guy.
Or just in his MacBook.
Yeah, he's kind of like throwing that like on this MacBook, right? He's trying to get the jury. Oh, wait a minute. Didn't even search for this guy. I mean, hopefully they're paying attention, but
Yeah.
it would be something I would bring up on redirect.
Her iMessage? No.
You know what I mean?
Oh, I never saw any indication of that.
I'm going to refer you to page 555, record 2055.
What record number you said? 2055?
2055.
Okay, got it.
And that search query is what is disposal of dead bodies.
That's correct.
There's no reference to murder in that query, correct?
That's correct.
And that query occurred at 6:36:18, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
I'm going to refer you to stay on that same page 555, record 2057.
Okay.
It occurred at 6:36:22.
Yes.
And it regards body disposal options.
Yes.
No reference to murder, the word murder, correct?
That's correct.
Turning to the next page, 556, record 2059. That occurred at 6:36:30, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
The search query involves cool ways to be buried, correct?
That's correct.
There's no reference to murder, correct?
That's correct.
Page 557, record number 2061.
Okay.
That occurred at 6:36:33.
Yes.
And it's a query of above ground burial options, correct?
That's correct.
And there's no reference to murder.
Yes, that's correct.
Yesterday, you did testify to some search queries that did include the word murder, correct?
That's correct.
And you would agree that these searches that we're talking to the jury about today, they began at 4:42 on January 1st of 2023.
452, but yes.
Okay, 4:52. The first time the term murder was introduced in these searches.
No, Deborah asked, is the defense all you left for the recording? No, the defense is the only thing that I didn't really touch unless there was a big pause or like a sidebar. The other ones, like when we're going through all the prosecution witnesses, I'm skipping over majority. I'm just getting to their one contributing statement, like the Lyft guy. He's up there for 10 minutes or something, and his only contribution is she didn't take any Lyft rides. So we don't need to hear 10 minutes of him explaining that, right? So, but everything for the defense is in.
Was at page 596, record 2185. That's correct, isn't it?
I don't know. I haven't memorized all of these, as you can tell.
I know you're looking.
What record number you said?
Okay. Page 596, record 2185.
Yes, I have that here.
Okay, I'm sorry, I cut you.
I was going to say, I see it here. I don't know. I don't believe there's any other things with murder in the keyword search prior.
I'm sorry?
I don't know if there's any other words with keyword searches for Google with the word murder in it prior to this one. Again, like I said, I haven't memorized all of these records. It's quite a bit of them.
Well, if I represented to you that the first time the word murder appears in these searches is at page 596, record 2185. Would you agree with me?
I see it here, so I can just take your word for it.
Okay. And that occurred at 11:28:43 a.m.
Yes, that's correct.
So the first time the word murder appeared in all these records was approximately 6 hours after these searches began.
Again, I'd have to take your word for it, but it seems that.
And that search that we just talked about, the search at 596, record 2185, the one we just spoke about, that occurred right after a search at 595, record 2181, where the query is best way to dispose of body parts quietly.
That's correct.
And that,
I mean, I don't know why that's good.
It doesn't say murder.
I know, but
that occurred at 11:27:56 a.m., correct?
Everything is relative.
So yesterday I asked you some questions about the use of additional terms to get a different search result. You remember those
this is the most ridiculous
questions?
thing.
Yes, sir.
And that is one example in Exhibit 79, where first a query did not use the word murder, and then it did use the word murder to get different results, correct?
Are you kidding me? Are you trying to make me laugh?
Why is he asking this guy? I mean, this guy is just reporting what he's found, right? Like,
right, but he's just highlighting for the look. Brian, like he said in his opening statement, it went darker and darker, right?
Yeah,
he was so concerned about how to get rid of this body, and he's like, obviously not finding anything. So he's like, okay, fine, maybe I'll throw in the term murder, and then we'll see where that gets me. He doesn't He
didn't Google how to give your wife a proper burial after she dies.
Right. That's part of the redirect notes I have here.
So
can't speak to the user's frame of
one thing that I don't think this is the first time I've been on a stream about this. I remember this case here because for those of you who don't know, I live in the Washington D.C. area. And I remember when she went missing. I remember it being in the local news here, and we all immediately knew he murdered her. Like it was obvious as the son that this dude murdered his wife. Like we knew right. I mean,
away. Just look at his face.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing the pictures of her in like the local news and
the postage stamp sized missing poster.
Yeah.
Well, on our local news there's like there are two pictures I remember very distinctly. One of is like her against the backdrop of like, it's like a business headshot almost like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that was the one.
Like the Washington Monument almost.
Yeah, that was the one that we saw that poster yesterday.
And then there was another one that was much more casual. I think she's wearing like a white dress.
Maybe her wedding photo or something. I don't know.
I don't think it was a wedding photo. She was very beautiful in it, but if I could find it, I'll send it to you. But those were the two that were circulated a lot. But yeah, it's like all these things are like bringing back neurons of things I remember seeing.
Mine, when they're searching for something, I can just say yes or no to what the data shows. So those search terms have it, some don't. That I can't speak to why someone is searching what they're searching.
You testified yesterday, and I'm going to give you a site, page 694, record 2507. You can turn to that.
Yep, sorry.
Page 694, record 2507.
Okay.
And that has to do with a query about hard drive removal.
Yes.
Okay? Tell us when that.
And don't worry, he is talking just as pausing as he was yesterday, but I've clipped the pauses.
Search occurred.
January 2nd, 2023 at 2:01:19 a.m.
Now, you're aware of the fact that certain devices, all made by Apple, were first turned over voluntarily to the police on January 6th of 2023.
No, that's not true.
You would agree that certain devices were turned over to the police on January 6th of 2023.
Yes, certain devices were.
And when those devices were turned over, those devices were examined, correct?
Yes, they were.
And all the hard drives were intact in all those devices.
Well, yes, they were.
And there was no evidence that any of the hard drives had been tampered with, correct?
Well, the products that we were...
Was there any evidence that the hard drives in any of those devices turned over on January 6th had been tampered with?
They don't
You can't take them out.
have standard hard drives
Aren't
that a
they
PC has.
welded in or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have different hard drive types. They're soldered onto the motherboards of these devices.
So there was no evidence that anything had been tampered with.
That's correct for these chips.
And then you're aware of the fact that then on January...
Just because he couldn't do it doesn't mean he didn't want to do it. He did the Google search.
Also, I wouldn't really try to drive home the fact that they definitely weren't tampered with.
Right.
January 8th, those devices that were turned over on January 6th were returned to Mr. Walsh on January 7th.
Yes, that's correct.
And then those same devices that were first turned over on January 6th were seized on January 8th or thereafter.
On January 8th, yes.
And additional devices were also seized on January 8th.
Yes, they were.
And one of those devices that was seized on January 8th was this gray MacBook, correct?
Yes, sir.
The gray MacBook whose data appears in Exhibit 79.
Yes, sir.
And there was no evidence after a forensic examination of all the devices now in the possession of the state police that none of the hard drives had been tampered with.
Like physically tamper with, sir? Like physically or like trying to take them apart?
That's one question. We'll do it that way. Physically?
Other than the damage to the devices, no, there was no tampering, like screws missing that I saw.
And when you say the damage to the devices, are you talking about the one iPad mini that was cracked?
Yeah, well, and the screen on the gray MacBook, the display itself was not broken, but the LCD screen had like a flicker. It didn't work perfectly.
And none of that affected the data within those devices?
No, that's correct.
Yesterday, you testified with regards to a search history search at page 888, record 3127.
Okay.
That search occurred on January 3rd of 2023, correct?
It's at 7:30 p.m.
At 7:38, correct?
That's correct.
And that search involved, can police get your search history without your computer, correct?
That's correct.
And once again, without repeating the same question, all those computers and iPhones and iPads were turned over on various dates, January 6th and January 8th and thereafter.
That's correct.
And you're unaware that any other computer or any other iPad or any other cell phone had been destroyed or otherwise disposed of.
Just one cell phone.
Okay. And the search history on all of these devices that were turned over, it was all intact, wasn't it?
Yes, the devices that were either turned over or seized during the warrant were.
And in your forensic analysis of all these devices, you did not see any evidence that anyone tried to remove, delete, or otherwise change the search history contained on these devices.
That's correct.
Yesterday, you testified to cell phone history search, and that's at page 904, record 3184.
Yep, I have it.
And you're aware of the fact that Mr. Walsh was interviewed beginning on January 4th, correct?
I don't remember the exact days. I got involved in the case on the 6th, but I know he was spoken with prior to that.
That query, that search query that we just talked about, page 904, record 3184, that was conducted on January 4th at 8:55 a.m., correct?
That's correct.
But as you sit here today, you're not sure when Mr. Walsh was first interviewed by the law enforcement at his home.
That's correct.
Are you aware of the fact that he was not just interviewed once on January 4th, but twice? Are you aware of that? Were you ever, I guess your answer is no.
That's correct. I don't know.
Are you aware of any dates that Mr. Walsh was in fact questioned or interviewed by the police at his home prior to his arrest?
I just know it was prior to the 6th.
In any event, in all of the devices that you did in fact forensically examine, you saw no evidence that any user tried to destroy any cell phone history as it applied to the cell phones, correct?
To Mr. Walsh's?
Yes.
That's correct.
Now, my understanding from your testimony yesterday is that you did not specifically conduct a full examination of any of the iPhones that were seized.
That's correct.
That would be Trooper Connor Keefe.
That's correct.
A user that uses these devices can delete information, yeah.
To a point.
But the fact of the matter is that those forensic tools that you use, Cellebrite, Magnet Gray, Axiom, when you run the data that you extract from a device, that software can detect where a deletion.
As I said, to a point.
It's fair to say that in your examination of the MacBook, device 3, records in Exhibit 79, there's no indication that any data had been deleted.
I didn't see anything glaring.
Yesterday, you talked about the Chase account login data, and specifically the Chase login data that occurred on December 27th of 2022. Do you recall that?
Vaguely.
And you would agree with me that that particular activity, the Chase login, that extended up to and including record 1026, found at page 279.
Yep.
And it's fair to say that you do not know what was reviewed during that Chase login.
No, I do. I can see right here. So it goes, each URL, if you go into it, shows dashboard, overview accounts. There's another one that shows dashboard authorization, his when he signed out.
Do you know the details of what he viewed?
What was actually in his account? No.
Okay.
I just know that the headers for the Chase accounts that he was at.
So you don't know if the user was looking at balances, deposits, anything like that. You just know that he logged in to the Chase account.
Yes, whatever covers under the account overview or his login information, that's all I can tell. I don't know if he made transactions or...
And you do not know if there are multiple accounts associated with that Chase login.
That's correct.
I'm going to refer you to page 906, record 3195.
Okay, have it.
That's another Chase login, isn't it?
That's correct.
Occurred at 3:58:26 p.m. on January 7th, correct?
Yes, sir.
And now I'm going to refer you to record number 3.
David Anderson Kirk, the lawyer cadence sounds weird at any speed.
292 on page 930.
Okay.
That's another Chase login, isn't it?
He's already logged, well, he's logged in from earlier, so it's the same login.
It's not the same login that's referenced at page 9063195, is it? Because that login occurred on January 7th, correct?
Well, if you go back, oh, I see the date change. Yep, it goes, all the preceding ones are also Chase from the 7th and then the 8th.
So the reference specific to page 930, record 3292, that's a Chase login that occurred the next day on January 8th, correct?
Yes, that's true.
And that's at 3:02 a.m., correct?
Yes, it is.
So what you saw in this MacBook data was multiple logins on the Chase account, correct?
Yes.
And they spanned many days during this period that you examined it, 12/25/2022, up to and including January 8th of 2023, correct?
Yes.
So there were many Chase logins, apart and aside from the Chase login that you testified to on direct examination yesterday, that occurred on December 27th of 2022, correct?
Yes.
You'd also note, and I'll focus your attention on page 948 at record 3362.
Okay.
That involves a login to a Fidelity account, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
And that login occurred at 7:04:21.
Yes.
So there are multiple logins involving financial institutions within that MacBook data that is contained in Exhibit 79, correct?
Yes.
As you sit here today,
But does Brian have a Fidelity account? I thought only she did.
Does Brian have any accounts at this point?
I don't think so.
Where does he put all his stolen money?
I mean, he owes $400,000. How would he?
He owes $400,000?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, from his fraud charge.
I forgot to. I said. I think I mentioned he owes money, but I didn't get into how much.
Yeah, he was selling fake paintings.
Yeah, the Warhols.
Yeah, and so that's his fine or whatever.
you cannot tell this jury how many times there was a Chase login on this MacBook
He also stole money from his dad.
between 12/25/2022 and January 8th of 2023.
Unless I see the last visited count or I go through and hand count them, then no.
And the same question, you can't tell us how many times the Fidelity account was logged into between December 25th, 2022 and January 8th of 2023.
That's correct.
You didn't examine any data on the MacBook prior to December 25th, 2022, so you have no idea how many times Mr. Walsh or anyone else logged into the Chase account prior to December 25th of 2022.
Yes.
I want to focus your attention to page 279 through 280.
Okay.
That was a Google search that occurred at 9/37/07, correct?
Yes.
And that occurred once again on 12/27, this 12/27 date that we keep hearing about, correct?
Yes.
That search and those results had to do with Porsches, didn't they?
Yes.
Had to do with someone searching for Porsche cars, correct?
Yeah, it says 911 Porsche 2009 for sale.
And one of those searches involved a Porsche for sale in Cohasset, didn't it?
I don't know. I can look. Oh, I see it. Yep.
That's a yes?
Car Gurus, yes.
Okay. That search that I just asked you about that occurred on 12/27, that search happened right after those Chase searches that occurred on 12/27, didn't it?
Yes.
And that Porsche search at 279, 280, and the other searches thereafter, they occurred right after those searches that you referenced yesterday to the jury about divorce, correct?
Believe so.
I'm going to focus your attention now to page 2. I'm sorry.
They did. I just went back. I sorry.
I'm going to focus you now to page 234, record 863.
Okay.
That is a search that occurred on 12/27, once again, and it occurred around 8/23/13, correct?
I have 82308, but yep.
Okay. And I'm going to ask you to go forward to record 870 and ask you to look at those records that run from 863 to 870. They all involve searching for a diamond ring, don't they?
Yes.
And one of the specific queries is a 4-carat diamond, correct?
Yes.
And there's a specific reference that it references BlueNile.com diamonds, correct?
That's correct.
These
Just take a pause from his onslaught of anger. But let's see. Derek and Sumi, you probably can think of this. Do men necessarily buy diamonds and Porsches for their wives only when the relationship is good? Or could it also be if the relationship is falling apart, you try and shower her, like you've screwed up, right? I'm going to federal prison.
In the beginning to get her, and then somewhere in the middle or end to try to get her back.
Right, exactly. Right. So, that's not always the case.
No,
right?
I was just going to say, some people love to shower their loved ones with gifts. Some
Right.
I bought a Porsche 911 for my wife.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But your wife is also very materialistic, I'm sure.
Yeah. And a 4-carat diamond.
So this is all. This is another question I would, you could ask on. But he's not really the expert. But like, there's got to be a way to counter this narrative that he's. A perfect follow up would have been: Did you ever see him make a purchase of a diamond or a Porsche, or just look at them? Right.
Yeah.
searches.
Does Blue Nile give away diamonds for free? Because we know Brian was owed $400,000.
Do we know it was Brian looking at them?
What do you think? It was a 6-year-old?
No, as opposed to his wife.
Oh, we don't know, actually, because she was home then, right? The 27th of December, she would have been back. She got back on Christmas Day.
Eve or something.
No, she missed Christmas Eve. She got there Christmas Day,
right,
in the afternoon.
Yeah. Because that's the kind of thing women tend to look up. Men do too, but the things that they want. And if she's thinking of getting married to another dude.
So that would have been my redirect question. Hey, because this works both ways. You could say, hey, you can see all these searches in here, but it doesn't tell you who's using the device, right? No, it does not. It just tells me who's logged in. So if, for instance, Anna was using the laptop to look for a diamond for herself or a Porsche, it would look like the same thing, right? And you go, yes. And then there's more you can do with that.
They might not want to open it, the possibility to then we have to deal with who made all the searches. And
wait, no, but I have a counter of that, right? You could say, for every, we'll let him
that you just testified to regarding searching for diamonds, they occurred just before the searches that you told us about regarding the divorces yesterday, correct?
Yes.
Talking about those divorce searches now, the divorce searches that occurred on 12/27, they start actually with a search, and the search involves Katie Holmes' divorce.
Yes.
Katie Holmes is an actress. Do you know?
Yes.
And so that is the first search that appears on 12/27 that includes the term divorce, correct?
I believe so.
And then there's the searches that you talked about yesterday on direct. And it's fair to say, isn't it, that those searches regarding divorce you testified to ran from page 241, record 891, to page 258, record 9.
Brian Walsh's Northwest NW. Brian Walsh's mom was at house on the 27th, I think.
And I think she said that Anna was in DC.
No, Anna came. Wait, so she went back to DC on the 27th? Because she was there on Christmas Day. Oh, flew back to Boston on December. Okay, so she was there. She drove up, right, on Christmas Day because she couldn't get the flight. And she must have gone back to DC and then came back up on the 3rd. Okay, thank you. That helps. Thank you.
4A.
Is that the question? Did I?
Yes.
Yes.
And you characterized them yesterday when asked by the Commonwealth. How do you characterize the nature of those searches? All showing divorce advice. Your words, correct?
I forget what I said, but I believe so.
Okay. So it's fair to say that if they ran from 8:33 to 8:54, that'd be a total of 21 minutes, correct?
Yes.
That's 21 minutes of looking at divorce, as you characterized it, divorce advice, in over 15 days of data that you extracted from the MacBook.
Which honestly seems like a lot of effort for Brian. 21 whole minutes. My pro se client, 17 Dutch kroners. Her name was pronounced Anna. Hear me out. Yeah, I know. I'm trying to Anna because it's one N. Were you going to say something? Or, okay.
Correct?
Yes.
And these divorce searches, once again, they occurred after the diamond searches,
Thank you.
right after them, didn't they?
Yes.
And they occurred before the Porsche searches, didn't they?
Yes.
And these searches occurred before the Chase searches that you testified to.
Yes.
So on 12/27, that extracted data from the MacBook shows that all right around the same time, there was a Chase login, correct?
Yes.
Looks like someone was shopping for a diamond ring or a diamond, correct?
I don't know if they were shopping for it, but they were looking at it.
And somebody was looking at Porsches, correct?
That's correct.
And there was no divorce-related searches that
And it was like an 09 Porsche. It's 2022. You're getting a 13-year-old Porsche? Baller.
occurred in the
Even Sarah Boone had a newer car than that.
It's as old as my Mazda.
data you looked at from 12/25 up to and including up to the 12/27.
Not that I saw.
It's fair to characterize these searches that you testified to yesterday that they began at 4:52, and sometimes the searches only seem to last no more than a minute.
Can't speak to the time frame for all of them because I don't have them all memorized, but I know some were short, some were not.
But in fact, if someone reviewed Exhibit 79 carefully and looked at the data would reveal how long and how short some of these searches went from one search query to the next, correct?
Yes, that's true.
And it would also show that during these searches that were being conducted, that at times the software, the browser, would then
Do I look Chinese to you?
Do I look Chinese? Yeah, you do. That's a Dave Chappelle joke for those who didn't know the reference. Don't cancel me.
redirect and send the user to someplace else, and then a new search would be conducted, correct?
Again, I don't remember being all that many, but yes, that could happen.
There are searches that include searches of what detergent to use to clean up, correct?
Clean up what?
Clean up a wood floor. You recall?
Okay, so he leaves out the blood off the wood floor part of the search, right? And the detective kind of goes, I think there's something else in there. You got to hit that on redirect.
If you don't, that's fine.
I remember having something else in that search string, but I don't remember just how to clean wood floors.
Okay. Do you remember, as you said here today, anything about searches for concrete floors?
Yes.
Okay. All of these searches, they go on not just for one day. These searches go on for at least 3 days, don't they?
I believe they go from the 1st to the 4th.
Okay. On January 3rd, there are searches about how to deal with smells and odors from a decomposing body, is it?
Yes.
And those searches about how to deal with an odor, they don't even begin until January 3rd, do they? If you know, if you don't, that's fine.
I thought on the 1st there was one how long it takes for a body to start smelling.
But not how to, that's correct.
Yeah,
not
no,
how to clean it up.
That's correct.
And not how to mask the smell or anything of the sort.
No, there is January 1st, 4:58. How long does a body stop smelling?
But not how to mask it, correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
And not how to clean it up.
I'm not seeing that.
You're not seeing it.
I'm not
I don't know how to clean it up. He was asking how to carve it up.
seeing it. I'm just seeing the beginning ones that I've already talked about.
That's all I have.
Redirect.
Okay, so we'll listen to the pathetic
Very
redirect
briefly.
here.
If you could just read that title, please, Trooper.
Yep. It says your spouse is missing and you want a divorce /hello divorce.
And what is the date and time for that?
January 1st, 2023, 10:49 a.m.
So that is after 12/27 of 22. Is that right?
Yes.
Thank you. And Trooper, you talked about on cross-examination, you were asked about devices that you received on January 6th of 2023 by Mr. Walsh. Did you receive the MacBook?
No, I did not.
You received, what did you receive?
The iPhone 13 mini and 2 iPads, iPad 6 and iPad 6 mini.
And did those have hard drives like a laptop?
They have memory chips similar to the MacBooks, but not like a PC hard drive.
And did you find at the search warrant a PC or a laptop with a traditional hard drive?
No.
And did you search the house for a traditional laptop or a PC?
Yes, I did.
And in all of
Okay, so that's the end of the redirect.
That's it.
That was the only redirect. You got to ask him about she did terrible. You got to re-ask the search of the wood. Hey, was it just cleaning wood or was it something more specific? And then he'll look it up. You give him the reference. You go, yeah, how to clean blood off of wood flooring. You got to highlight. You go, in any of these searches, did you find anything like my wife is unresponsive? Did you find like my wife suddenly died in his sleep, or my spouse suddenly died in her sleep? What can cause sudden death in sleep? Anything about the manner in which she died? You didn't Google any of that, dude.
Well, they might be, that might be part of their closing arguments, and they don't want to get in. They don't want the answer because they're just going to say, he didn't. There were no searches for that. He claims he found her, but there's not one search. What to do when you find your spouse unresponsive?
Right. None of that. Right. hammer that home to the jury. Be like, he didn't do any of these types. Like you could go on and on, right?
But that's the problem. The jury gets bored,
No, but that centers them back to being like, they just heard this guy rambling like, he just said divorce. You only looked at divorce for 21 minutes. Yeah, but he never looked up why is my wife dead? He never looked that up because he killed her. He already knew how she died. Why bother him? Plus, he asked, how do I get DNA off of a knife? Right? It's kind of, because this is a digital expert, but I'm hoping the guy that does the phones, we get those. Because my impression was he didn't review any of the phone stuff, right? But we go back to the thing about who's doing the searches, right? You'd be like, well, we're not anyone could be using this device, right? Yes. Okay. Well, who in the house has said that, or who in the house was next to a dead body? Oh, was it Brian or was it the 6-year-old? Right? Like,
yeah.
Ask him like, oh, was 911 called? Oh, 911 wasn't called. Well, there was a search done instead. How to cut up a body?
Yeah.
Like, all these things you can hit, and they don't do any of that. It's just not good, in my opinion. Let me get next file up here. I don't know. I really think this should all be on. This should be a redirect heavy trial, and I think they're maybe a little too comfortable. It's just my opinion.
Thank you, Ron. Commonwealth we call William Foley.
Okay, so this guy is a U.S. Customs and Border Protection, and all he's gonna say is basically they track her passport, right, when she flies in and out of country, and we know she went to Germany and to Serbia for a sick mother, or Dublin or whatever, right? So that's what he's.
Could you say your name and spell your last name for the record?
Yes, my name is William Foley, Foley.
And where do you work, sir?
I work for U.S. Customs and Border Protection.
And sir, other than those two entries, were there any other records of Anna Walsh traveling outside the country from January 1st, 2022 to your July date in 2025?
No, sir.
Nothing further with Mr. Foley.
Any cross?
The records that have been admitted as Exhibit 82, they're not.
You can't hear him. I had to listen to this like 10 times. What he says is the records you're talking about, because they showed like some TSA or whatever, right? He goes, those aren't public records, right? That's the only question he asked. The guy says, no, these aren't public records. I don't know why you bring this in. What does it matter? Her leaving?
No, sir.
Any redirect?
No, Your Honor. The Commonwealth would call Patrick Reardon. Sir, could you state your name?
Okay, so this one's a real short one, even though he's up there for a while, after giving all his qualifications. Basically, he did a half-hour search with the canine at the dog, and he didn't find anything.
Name and spell your last name for the record.
Patrick Reardon, R-E-A-R.
But
He looks like a real short one, actually.
some of these guys' beards are pretty funny. This isn't the one I'm... The guy from the
short,
Swampus or whatever police
Swamp
department.
ass?
And it's something like it's Snow Pass or I don't know.
All right.
Basically,
Nothing further, Your Honor.
searched everywhere and didn't find anything.
Cross?
No questions.
The witness may step down. Thank you.
Regina's here.
Commonwealth calls.
So I don't understand why did you have him up there? Who's here?
Regina's here.
Almanino.
It's Regina.
Hi, Regina.
Okay, so this guy's the JetBlue corporate security guy. Basically, he's gonna say she didn't take any flight on the first, whatever. The only flight she had booked was the one on the third, which she absolutely missed. That's why we're at 4,000 speed. Showing the little booking. So if they just let me edit the trial, this thing could be done in a day. We can get this entire thing over with in a day.
Thank you very much.
Any cross-exam?
No questions, Judge.
Witness may step down. Thank you.
No cross-examination.
Commonwealth may call its next witness.
The Commonwealth would call Greg Lawrence. Could you please state your name for the record and spell your last name?
Gregory Lowrance, last name spelled Lowrance.
So this guy took the missing persons report. So I have more of it. What?
Okay. The other guy's gone already. This guy is very boring. I did see part of this.
Yeah, he's pretty boring. So he's sped
God.
up. But yeah, the other guy's gone because he just said, "Oh, she missed her flight." Cool. Oh, I didn't find anything with the canine. Cool.
And where were you dispatched at approximately 11:44 a.m. on January 4th of 2023?
516 Chief Justice Cushing Highway in Cohasset.
Now, what was the purpose? What was your purpose of going to 516 Chief Justice Cushing Highway?
I believe it was for a well-being check.
And what did you do upon arrival to that residence?
I exited my cruiser and approached the side door of the residence.
And then what happened?
I was met by the resident of the house, Mr. Brian Walsh.
And where did you meet him?
I was on the door to the right of the main front door.
Okay. And what did he say, if anything, when you arrived?
He wanted to file a missing persons report for his wife.
What was his demeanor?
He was calm, collected.
And was this interaction that you had with him recorded?
It was not.
And did Cohasset Police Department have body?
Now you got to get this part in because you got to prove that he lied to the police, which can show the consciousness of guilt.
Worn cameras at that time?
We did not.
Does Cohasset Police Department have body-worn cameras now?
We do not.
And did he say why he wanted to report his wife missing?
He contacted her workplace, and they had not heard from her, and he had not heard from her in a few days.
What did he tell you about the last time that he had seen her?
It was on January 1st, 2023.
What, if anything else, did
Oh, that was the other redirect for yesterday. Remember when he's at the end, he's going, "You were there. People were there for days, and they didn't find anything. Isn't that right, detective?" Right? Remember when the defense was hammering on that?
Yeah.
You go up on redirect and say, the defense counsel just asked, you didn't find anything. Was there somebody in that house that was researching how to dismember and clean up a dead body? He goes, yes.
Yeah.
There was. We later came to learn that.
he tell you?
That it was the morning between 6 a.m. and 7 a.m. Before she took a flight back to Washington, D.C. for work.
And did he tell you where she was taking a flight from?
I mean, because it's not like he killed her and then the cops showed up 20 minutes later and all of a sudden they can't find anything. He had days to clean it up.
Logan Airport.
And did he tell you how she got to Logan Airport?
She took an Uber from the residence.
And did he say what he had done to contact her?
He had tried to call and text her, and also was reaching out to friends and coworkers in the D.C. area.
And did he say whether or not this was typical behavior?
It was not.
What did he say about their typical behavior?
When she is away from the family for work, they usually FaceTime frequently, so he can FaceTime with their children. I returned to my cruiser to go into my cruiser bag and take out a blank NCIC.
David Anderson Kirk, I'm telling you, it's agony at normal speed.
This guy, can you play this guy at normal speed for a second or no?
No, I can't change the speed. I don't
Because
think.
he was, first of all, him sped up, looking at him sitting there, it looks like a still photo. Like that's how static he was. And the way he spoke was so boring.
Right.
His haircut, just
I can't change the speed, unfortunately.
Missing persons report form to fill out.
And were you able to compile information for that form?
Yes.
At this point, Your Honor, I'd like to put into evidence what's been marked
Remember, I've boiled 7 hours down to an hour for you people.
by agreement as Exhibit 93, the NCIC form. Who gave you the information to fill out the form?
Brian Walsh.
So you get
Did
the
he provide you any
description.
information about her phone?
Yes,
Or
he
he-
supplied me with her cell phone number.
Why is the cell phone number important for you?
Then we can conduct a ping of the cell phone to determine its last known location.
And did the defendant tell you what airline Ms. Walsh was going to fly?
He said that she was flying JetBlue.
And why is that information important?
Then we can contact Logan Airport and determine if she boarded any flights for JetBlue that day.
And why did you go back to the house that night?
I returned to the residence around 6:30 p.m.
Let's get those likes up, people.
For a recorded interview with Sergeant Harrison Schmidt.
Any cross?
Got 105 people here and only 60 likes.
2 questions. Had you ever been to that house before?
No, sir.
And you started working at Cohasset in 2018?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Can I see?
So that was the amount of the redirect. When did you start working there? Have you ever been there before? Nope. Okay. Cool.
Counsel at the side of the bench. Witness may step down.
Calls Seth Fox.
Seth Fox.
Could you please state your full name for the record?
Seth Fox.
And how do you spell your last name?
Fox.
This is the Lyft guy.
Were there any rides between December 30th of 2022 and January 8th of 2023 that were used by this rider?
No.
Thank you.
Look at that. I just saved you 10 minutes of your
Any
life.
cross? The witness may step down.
That
The
was
Commonwealth
the
calls
public-
Alyssa.
That's it.
public cashier at.
Yeah,
when they're doing
that's what I'm
trial.
telling you. There's
At least
so many
in a video.
witnesses today.
So Wimmer.
Now
Could you
we get the
please
Uber
state your name and
person.
spell your last name for the record?
Yes, my name is Alyssa Wimmer, Wimmer.
And what is your occupation, ma'am?
I work for Uber Technologies.
4,000 speed engage.
And what name was associated with this account?
Anna Walsh.
Were there any rides between December 30th of 2022 and January 8th of 2023?
There were 2 trips taken from that account on December 30th of 2022.
The witness may step down. Thank you.
Thank you.
Call Michael Kenyon. What's your name?
Michael Kenyon, Swampscott Police Department.
Now, I'd like to ask you some questions about January.
This guy's beard. This looks like a fake beard.
Yeah, this looks like that magnet face where you put the.
yeah, exactly.
January 9th of 2023. Were you working that day?
Yes.
What do you think this guy's going to testify to, ex Derek?
Hell if I know.
It's super critical.
You get there, you see all
We see this dumpster here.
these officers, and you see these 2 objects. What happens next?
The trash compactor and the dumpster are secured on flatbeds.
Okay. And so then what do you do?
It's advised that I was going to lead a caravan from our location to another location.
What happens next?
So I lead the caravan from 330 Paradise Road in Swampscott to the Republic Trash
Swampscott. That's the name of the, not Swamp
Swamp
Ass.
ass.
Swampscott.
Services at 304th Street in Peabody.
No further questions, John.
That's
Any
it.
cross?
That's all he's got.
Witness may step down. Thank you, sir.
I just have one question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Am I just hallucinating, or is there a picture of Brian at a dumpster?
I haven't seen one, I don't think.
Maybe I'm getting them mixed up with a different trial. But I remember seeing a picture.
Oh, of him dumping the bag into there. Yeah, I think there
Yes.
is like a surveillance footage, right? Yeah,
Yes.
that should be coming in probably at some point.
Okay.
With regards to the exhibit 91, that trash compactor, do you have any knowledge of whether that had trash in it?
No.
Please. Thank you, sir.
So he doesn't know if there's trash in it. Okay, good. Great.
Redirect.
No, Your Honor.
The witness may step down.
Thank you.
The Commonwealth calls Sergeant Amy Waterman.
So Amy Waterman, she went down and checked Anna's apartment in DC.
Could you please state your name and spell your last name for the record?
Yes, Amy Waterman, Waterman.
And how are you employed?
I'm a sergeant with the Massachusetts State Police.
And did you go to 5334 43rd Street Northwest in Washington, D.C. on January 7th of 2023?
Yes, I did.
And whose home was that?
That was the home of Anna Walsh.
I mean, you guys tell me. I feel like I'm including the nuggets you need to see, and the rest is sped through. So, but if you feel cheated, let me know. If you,
I feel
Again,
cheated,
it was-
but not about this at all.
okay.
Neatly put together. There was some miscellaneous personal items.
Did you make any observations of men's clothing in the closet?
Yes, there was some men's clothing.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know if it's Brian's or not, but
Was the address 5342?
I don't know.
They just said it.
We could rewatch the entire thing. It's like 8 seconds.
Could you please state your name and spell your last name for the record?
Yes, Amy Waterman, Waterman.
And how are you employed?
I'm a sergeant with the Massachusetts State Police.
And did you go to 5334 43rd Street?
5334 43rd Street. Is that your neighbor?
Northwest, I'm assuming.
Isn't that what she just? I don't know.
Yeah, probably Northwest.
And did you go to 5334 43rd Street Northwest in Washington, D.C.?
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, I know exactly where that is.
Mm.
On
It's
January
very, lots of stores around that area. Lots of stores. Not quite like a mall, but just like tons of stores, some high-end stores. Nice neighborhood around there.
Like
too.
a Banana Republic? We're talking like that kind of high end? Or
We're talking
or
like more
Neiman
type
Marcus or
stores.
Neiman Marcus type stores.
Neiman Marcus is there.
Ooh.
Do they have a lids?
Like a Tiffany's, a Brooks Brothers, Cartier type area.
Okay. I dig it.
Of 2023.
Yes, I did.
And whose home was that?
That was the home of Anna Walsh. Again, it was neatly put together. There was some miscellaneous personal items.
Did you make any observations?
Yeah, Meowwell has a point. Is there a lids there? Do they have a lids?
I asked that 3 times already.
Oh, sorry.
Can you believe this, Meowwell?
I'm sorry.
There is no. I have not seen a lids there. Sorry.
What about an above the belt or a Zoomies?
They're 5 below.
Men's clothing in the closet.
Yes, there was some men's clothing.
A hot topic?
And what observations did you make of the 3
isn't
smaller?
a mall. It's just a bunch of stores along Main Road.
I thought you were talking maybe something that was like a hybrid residential commercial,
Well, it's a bunch of big stores on Wisconsin Avenue, and then to the east of that is like
Wisconsin.
Tiffany's
Ex Derek, we're talking about Washington D.C., not Wisconsin.
Yeah, I know. I know. How could I get that wrong? I want to take off your shirt and bra.
Bedrooms.
They appeared to be rooms for children. All contained kids' furniture, all very nicely kept and neat. There were various toys and clothing that would tell us that it belonged to the children.
So I have this question because I don't know that. I mean, somebody complained, and I'm not mad at this person. I get it. Like they know the trial very well, right? But they didn't like that I said that he was doing the searches on the son's iPad, because that's what we had been told. Oh no, it was actually the Chromebook, and they just that's why I updated the intro.
Yeah.
So I don't know all the ins and outs. I wanted to approach this more like a juror of hearing this stuff. Can I be convinced of reasonable doubt? I don't think I will, but was
Also, Brian's face is there, so there's that.
His face is there. Were the kids regularly staying down there with her at points? Because if not, then she's prepping for her man living there and the kids living there. Does anyone know the answer to that? If that's been around somewhere that they would spend half the time down there. So no, Lids is a hat store. Like you go in there and you buy like sports hats, caps.
It's a baseball cap store. It's
Yeah, baseball caps.
ridiculous.
Fitted caps.
Yeah, it's for people like Kevin Federline.
Mm-hmm.
Just to
And did you find Anna Walsh in the home?
No, we did not.
Cross exam.
Thank you, Judge. Morning.
Good morning, sir.
You've used the word neat many times,
Correct.
because that's the way
Yes.
it was well organized.
Correct.
So you said that you found paper documents.
Yes, sir.
You used the word primarily.
What was the question? Oh, primarily in the kitchen. Yes.
Where in the
You can't really hear it because he's wandering around again, but she's talking about saying you found paperwork. Where was the paperwork? The paper was on the kitchen counter.
I don't remember exactly. I believe it was there was a countertop with some shelves underneath it. I believe that's where it was found.
Okay. Did you you mentioned what I thought I heard you say? You mentioned something like a study or a desk or something in one of the
Yes, in the primary bedroom there was a desk.
And did you go through the drawers looking for other documents?
I don't recall if we did or not.
So when you left, did you take all the documents that you found that you thought were significant?
We took some, yes.
Okay. And how did you know what kind of documents to look for, the significance of them?
Based on the address, personal documents for travel was kind of what we were looking for.
Okay. And you said that you saw some men's clothes?
Yes.
And they were in the closet?
Yes.
There were no other men's clothes anywhere else that you can recall?
Not that I can recall.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Any redirect?
No, thank you.
Nobody answered my question about whether the kids stayed down there. But Kevin Federline, remember that Kevin Federline Super Bowl commercial? That was really good.
I don't actually, but I don't know why he came to my, I actually didn't mean him. I meant some other guy who I can see he wore those caps, but I don't know.
So I think it was the 2007, maybe 8 or 9 Super Bowl. Basically, it was when he was doing his rap career, right? So then the commercial comes on as, he's doing his rap thing and being like, and wearing like the fur coats and everything. And then it all of a sudden it transitions to like him pointing at the camera, but it's a black and white TV and he's by the fry machine in the fast food. rapping to the camera, and the manager goes, "Kevin."
Yeah,
He's like, "What's up?"
Those things are always funny.
And then it's like life comes at you fast, MetLife or Fidelity. I don't remember. But I thought that was a very clever and a very good move on his part. He's making fun of himself, right? But it's funny.
Yeah.
Almost called Peter Capizzoli.
Okay, this is their landlord.
Wow, this man looks like a portrait.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, and I think we go to 200%. I think we go to 200% here because he can speak clearly.
Oh. Okay.
Can you state your name for the record and spell your last name?
Peter Capizzoli, C.
And he speaks slowly as well, so you have to go a little bit.
Capozzoli.
Are you familiar with the Walsh family?
What?
He doesn't look real.
So basically, he owns this auto business that's next to there, and then he owns the place, and then he was renting it out, and they're going to discuss the terms of the lease.
Yes.
And how are you familiar with the Walsh family?
They were the last tenants that we rented to.
What was the initial terms of the lease?
The first.
We just can't seem to get new tenants in there now that a body was cut up. It's a murder house. I can't get anyone to rent it.
6 months, I took less per month. I believe $4,800 a month to have them pay up front.
Yes, sir.
That was something they wanted.
Okay. And so, how many months was the lease for?
The first one was 6 months.
And did you ever have to have another lease with them?
Yes.
And when was that?
So we extended it for the full $5,000 per month for another 6 months, I believe.
Now, during the course of the Walsh family at 516 Chief Justice Cushing Highway, how many times did you have the opportunity to see Anna Walsh?
3 or 4 times.
And how many times would you have the opportunity to see Brian Walsh?
He brought the check every month, so I would see him each month once, and then maybe another 5 or 6 times in between that.
As far as any kind of fixes to the property or anything like that,
bring the check. Come on, get your Venmo set up. I mean, that's the way I paid my landlord the last time we rented when we were doing the house. She took Venmo, right? I can't imagine mailing a check or sending the check.
Well, some people don't know what to do with the check when you give it to them. So,
yeah.
Who would perform repairs to the property?
I did.
How often did you have to do that?
Just 3 or 4 times.
What type of things would you have to fix?
The first time was a dripping
Looks like me in 40 years, if I'm lucky.
faucet. I went in, figured the problem, went back, ordered some pots, got the pots, came back and fixed it.
And besides a leaky faucet, anything else you had to fix?
One time there was a loose hinge on a hutch in the kitchen, and I came in on a Sunday morning and worked on that and corrected that.
Was anyone home when you fixed the hitch?
Yes.
Who was home?
Anna was home, and the 3 boys.
Now, besides making those 2 repairs, any other significant repairs to the home?
Yes, one other one. In the middle of July, the AC stopped working. So I went over at night, looked at it for a few hours, checked everything I could, knew what I had, knew what I didn't have. So then I had an electrician come in the morning. He showed up, I think, at 8 o'clock. And after 5 minutes, he said, "Where's the shutoff switch for the heater AC unit?" I said, "I didn't know. It was upstairs." So it was upstairs in the entryway coming in the side door, and the switch had been flipped off. That's why the AC didn't work.
Oh, man, that sucks, huh? You had a repairman coming out for a switch?
yeah.
Pretty basic fixes.
Yes.
Now, sir.
What?
That was upstairs by the side door.
Upstairs by the side door. Get in the car. Go to your ma's. Side by.
As far as the basement of the house, when you rented it, what was in the basement?
Just a few small things, and a dehumidifier, maybe a small table, and 2 refrigerators that were not hooked up.
Now, Mr. Gilman, if you could just take down that exhibit, thank you. In late December of 2022, what did you do as far as going away on vacation?
I went to the Caribbean over New Year's.
And during that time, did you ever receive any calls from Mr. Brian Walsh?
Yes.
When?
I believe it was Thursday of the week that I was there, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere in the late afternoon timeframe.
And can you tell us about the conversation? What was the conversation you had with Mr. Walsh in this phone call?
Yes. So he had asked me if I had security on my building, and I said, no, not at this time. We were still in the building process. And so I said, why? And he said, well, my wife is missing. She took an Uber this morning, or was supposed to take an Uber this morning to go to D.C. for work, and we haven't found her, and she didn't show up in D.C.
Did he tell you what time she left?
Well,
I think in the 4 to 5 range in the morning.
Now,
that's what I wanted to look up. So he said that was a Thursday. What day of the week was 01/01/2023? That was a Sunday. Okay, so the second would be Monday, third would be Tuesday, fourth, Wednesday, fifth. So this is after he's made the police report and done the first interview, I guess, right?
And you said that your building was under construction. What building was being worked on?
Cohasset Imports.
And did you tell him about any other places that might have cameras?
Yes. So next door north of me, there's a home, and I thought he might have security. So I mentioned the name and said you could check with him.
Now, sir, on the lease you had with the Walsh family, are you familiar with that lease?
Yes.
The appendix is of the lease and the address affixed to that.
Yes, Diana Walsh, and the address is 330.
Hope's Camp, 2958. I can't imagine paying $5,000 a month in rent for my entire mortgage would have been paid off in like 2 years. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what rents are like where you guys live or everyone in the chat as well. I mean, rents, I think when the last time we rented, we were paying, I think it was like $2,500, but it was a house that we were renting, right?
Suma lives in New York City.
I know,
It's like
I can't imagine.
$5,000 for a closet.
It's ridiculous.
Right.
It's insanity.
And yet she doesn't work.
How do you know I don't work?
You're on the internet all day.
You know what I do.
So are you.
So are you, mother.
Well, touche. Kidding.
I know.
No, but rents here went ridiculous. I think the first apartment we rented in 2012. Well, my wife rented 2012. It was like $800 for a 2-bedroom, and by the time we in 2015 when we got married, 3 years later, we were paying $1,800 for a 2-bedroom. It went up like it more than doubled in
$1,000.
I mean, it was a nicer building, but it was the rates were all kind of in line with each other. Like there was no price disparity. Everyone just charged the same amount, which didn't make sense to me. Like you have a smaller apartment, it would be like $50 less or something. It didn't make any sense. And the part that always irritated me, I don't believe in rent control necessarily, but I don't think apartment complexes should be able to list a unit at an intro rate while telling you have to increase your own rate. Like if you have open units, you can't, or if you're promoting open units, you can't raise the rent on your existing tenants because then they just have to move. It's just this whole game, right? It's just ridiculous.
Paradise Road, apartment 1320 in Swampscott.
So I think I stepped over it, but his mom is actually the one on the lease for the house. So people asked why she was paying for it. That's why, because she was going to move in there after they moved out.
Mass.
Mr. Capizoli, how do you...
Or alternatively, she could just move in with her adult son after Anna takes the kids.
You recognize this as the living room?
So when you walk in the front door, it's the room to the left.
Okay, this is the photo that they were having a cow about. This is the photo from the video. You see it?
I still don't understand what's the big deal about this photo.
Because they found Northwest explained it. There's a picture, I guess, of that rug in a dumpster.
And no, but the problem with the picture is there's a kid over on the right, I believe.
Yeah. They were trying to figure out how.
Okay, so crop the kid out.
Yeah.
Which they did, but the defense was like, well, we don't even really like that. We'll just stipulate that the rug was there. Yeah.
It's the only room that had a rug. It's the only room downstairs that has a fireplace.
When you rented the home to the Walsh family, was it furnished?
Yes, partially furnished, yes.
Nothing further on.
Partially.
We were talking about the property in Coworkers, and one of the rooms we're talking about was the basement.
Yes.
Remember, the basement wasn't furnished.
Correct.
It wasn't properly heated.
No heat, just for what comes from the boiler, right?
And there wasn't a washer and dryer down there?
No.
There wasn't a playroom for kids?
Oh.
There wasn't a rug, it was just a cement floor?
Yes.
And the basement not only had access to the house, but it also would have had access to get outside of the house?
So her audio is terrible, but I mean, she's just talking about the different doors to get around. Eventually, you can't really hear it, but I assume this will be made a point later.
A walk-through door, a regular door, yes.
Okay. You had also mentioned, I believe, Mr. Connor introduced the lease, and that lease was in Diana Walsh's name?
Yes.
And to your knowledge, that was Mr. Walsh's mother?
Yes.
And the first 6 months of the lease, that was paid in full?
Yes.
By Mrs. Walsh, Mrs. Diana Walsh?
Yes.
And was your intention to rent that property in smaller increments, or that's just what came to you with the Walsh at that time?
That's what came to me.
Okay. And in speaking to the Walshes, was your understanding that the reason they were looking for short-term housing was because the family was planning to relocate to Washington, D.C.?
That's correct.
And after the 6 months, they approached to extend the lease, right?
Yes.
And what month was that, do you remember?
August or September, something in that.
2022? Yes. And when they first came to you to extend the lease, they only wanted to extend it for 3 months.
Yes.
And that was because their trip to DC was impending, it's coming up.
Yes.
Okay. And your understanding was that when Mr. and Mrs. Walsh and their 3 young children went to DC, that Diana Walsh might move in and take over.
Yes.
And it sounds like you didn't want to do such a short lease, so you agreed to do 6 months.
Yes.
And during those 6 months, you mentioned that Mr. Walsh would bring you your rent check, right?
Yes.
But the rent was being still paid by Diana Walsh, his mother.
Correct, yes.
And that was $5,000 a month?
Yes.
Okay. You had mentioned that you had done a couple repairs to the property as a landlord?
Yes.
And one of the things that you mentioned is there was a leaky faucet.
Yes.
And something like a leaky faucet, is that something that the Walshes would be financially responsible to fix?
No.
If that's just normal wear and tear of the wall?
Yes.
And I think the second thing you said was there a hinge on a hutch that was loose?
Yes.
And that was something that you could just go over with a screwdriver?
I had to replace the hinge.
Okay. And is that something that was normal wear and tear, or did the Walshes damage that and they would have to pay for it?
Probably wear and tear, but it could have opened too far and broke the hinge. Not sure.
Okay.
Who gives a shit?
In the lease, or your understanding, would there be some damage that the Walshes could have done to the home that they would have to be financially responsible for?
Well, they kind of get around to a point, right? Because I was thinking the whole time, like, well, you know, he's going to care about the ceiling damage, right? They kind of, I'll give him credit. They kind of come up with a plausible explanation on this one.
So, for example, if a large hole in the ceiling happened during their tenancy, you wouldn't run over there and get up on a ladder and drywall the ceiling and fix a hole yourself.
No, I wouldn't.
And that would be something that isn't regular wear and tear, right?
I would say that's not regular wear and tear. No.
Okay. So that would be something that the Walshes would be responsible for paying for and covering.
Sure. If they actually did it, if it wasn't something that the house had control over, yes.
Okay.
I mean, this makes perfect sense to me as a former renter, right? If I am damaging, I mean, especially the last house I rented, right? She was very protective. We didn't even tell her that we had pets. When we asked her about getting a second cat, and she didn't even know we had a first cat. And like, but she was like, "Is it gonna mess up the hardwood floors?" I'm like, "No, cats don't scratch hardwood floors. They'll scratch all the doorposts and everything, but it's not like a chocolate lab or something, or you know, Great Dane running up and down." But
You should see what my pit bull does to my wood floors.
But what I'm saying is, like, when any damage happened to the house, I'm not when, you know, if I punched a hole in the ceiling or something, I wasn't going to the landlord, "Hey, I messed this up. You can go ahead and charge me." Right? I was like, "Yeah, I'm going to figure out a way to fix that on my own without getting charged." And the way I did it when we moved out, because I drilled all these holes for all these anchor braces for like mounts and stuff. Yeah, I said, "Hey, you know what? Once you ask your new tenants, do they have TVs they want to mount? Because I'm not going to mount my
do
TV."
it.
Yeah, no, I was like, "I'll leave the mounts here for you, because then you won't see these big quarter or nickel-sized holes in your drywall." But then she found the other ones for the shelves, and then so I got those little stickers that you put on there that look textured, and then I painted over it. And she's like, "How would you do that?" I was like, "Just repaired it." I mean, hopefully nobody touches it. But yeah.
And you had mentioned that other than the rent check, that you would see Mr. Walsh. When you say 5 or 6 times, do you mean 5 or 6 times a month, or do you mean 5 or 6 times over the course of the lease?
Over the course of the lease.
Tori Massey says, "Damn, I got the hookup because I said we rented a 5-bedroom house, but it was more like a 4-bedroom plus a bonus room house for $900 a month in 2003, Grand Rapids for Michigan." I was in the red line district, so it was.
Is that where all the hookers are?
No, it was. You know, they have the zoning, like the racist zoning.
Red line.
Yeah, red line. Yeah, we couldn't get pizza delivered to us, or it was just, or like after dark, and I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Now, in fairness to Papa John's, we did have 2 DEA raids across the street.
Oh, that's
so.
Good. Yeah, that's
But they were. I loved my neighbors. They're nice. So.
Yeah, they gave you crack.
No, there was no drugs or anything. It just was very scary walking out there at night.
Him with any of his 3 little boys?
No, not outside the house. No.
Okay. And you said you saw Anna Walsh on a couple of occasions?
Yes.
And that was with Mr. Walsh or by yourself and the boys?
By yours.
Hear me out. Did you have Taco Bell recently? That noise sounds serious. What noise? That car? That was Suma Street.
Self.
Okay. Nothing further.
With the boys. I'm sorry. By yourself with the boys.
By yourself with the boys. Okay. Thank you, Your Honor. Nothing further.
Any redirect?
No, Your Honor.
The witness may step down. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
No, we could get pizza, David Anderson Kirk. We just couldn't order it after dark. Which is the only time you want pizza at night, right?
Could you say your name and spell your last name for the record? Sure, it's Mark Salvaggi.
Okay, so here's the New York life insurance broker.
It's Selvaggi. And sir, what do you do for a living? I sell life insurance. And are you affiliated with any life insurance company? Yes. Which one? New York Life. Some clients I'd like to ask you about are Brian and Anna Walsh. Yeah. Are you familiar with Anna Walsh? Yes. How did you become familiar with Anna Walsh? I was introduced to her through Brian. Okay. And how did you become familiar with Brian Walsh? Brian came to me as a client that was a lead that was solicited, and I reached out to him. It was a local address, and asked him, he was looking for life insurance. When did this occur? I believe in July of 2021. Were you ever able to sell Anna Walsh any insurance policies? Yes. What did you sell her for insurance policies? I sold her 2 life insurance policies, term policy and a whole life policy. It was approximately a 20-year term product. That was for $1 million. I sold her a whole life policy. That was for $250,000. Who is the beneficiary of that policy? Brian Walshe. Your life insurance policy, do you have to do anything as far as your medical information? Sure. Sure. So you fill out an application, which really gives the insurance company permission to do the due diligence on you and your health. Okay, so there's actually a release in there for them to get your medical records. Is that correct? Sir, there's a HIPAA authorization. Sir, regarding that policy, does that also list the beneficiaries? Yes, it does. Should you tell us who the beneficiary is? I can. It's Brian Walshe. Now, was there any difficulty in obtaining Anna Walshe life insurance? No.
George, I'm going to send you out of the courtroom for a little bit. I need to just.
Personal health history? And who is it for? Anna Walshe. Because your health is what determines the overall cost of your insurance and also if you're eligible to receive insurance. And were there any concerns that New York Life had with her health proving that? No, she received a excellent health rating. Every policy receives a health rating. Basically, Your Honor, we rate everyone's health on a scale from 1 to 37. 1 is as good as you can be. 37 is as poor as you can be and still be accepted. And she received a number 1 health rating. Yes, there's a telephone interview component where they, on a recorded line with a representative of the company, they ask them a series of questions, lifestyle questions, have you ever questions. It's about a half-hour long telephone interview that is also part of the underwriting process, in addition to a medical requirement where we send out an examiner for a blood and urine sample, vital signs, things of that nature, and then they request a copy of the medical records from the attending physician called an attending physician statement. Do you know if that on this case? I'm sorry? Do you know if that on this case? Yes, it was.
So this form that you were just looking at, do I understand that Anna Walshe supposedly filled this out herself?
I believe it was done through a telephone interview. I wasn't part of that.
Okay, so when you say a telephone interview, you mean someone interviewed reportedly Anna Walshe about these questions?
Yes.
So it wasn't a doctor that was reporting this information to you?
No.
And I think you had just said that if you don't go through this process, you can't get the life insurance, right?
Correct.
Okay, so this information on this form came from reportedly Anna Walshe over the phone.
Yes.
And these records don't have any attachment from a medical doctor signing off that she was in, as you say, great health in March of 2021.
It doesn't have any medical records attached to it.
So no medical corroboration to the assertions made reportedly by Anna Walshe in March of 2021.
Correct.
Your Honor, I have nothing further.
So you said earlier that they give a blood and urine sample when it comes to the house. And then you also said that something about they have to sign a release for their medical records?
Yes.
And can you tell based on the documentation if that was done in this case?
It was.
And then once you have that release, what happens? How do you access the medical records?
The company does it through a third-party vendor, and they receive a copy of the attending physician statement. We call it an APS.
And where does that go?
It goes to the underwriter.
And is that records that you have?
I don't.
I don't mean do you have them with you now. I mean, do you keep those records?
We're never privileged to that information, Your Honor.
It all goes to the underwriter.
Correct.
Different entity than you.
Correct.
And you mentioned earlier in your direct that there's a woman that works with you. I got the phonetic as Nancy McGloom.
Yes.
Might be about 75% correct. Is she the person that you said you didn't do this over the phone with Anna Walshe, but that somebody else did?
She's not the person, no.
So what they're debating is like whether they're going to admit the health report is saying like she's a 1 or something, which is weird because I think she says I'm not going to admit it, but I don't exactly know what they're admitting or not admitting here because the jury's not here right now.
Your Honor.
Is there another person in your office that does that?
No, it's direct from the underwriter, from the home office of New York Life. There's to make sure it's sort of the best information it could be. They do it themselves.
All right. Anything else anybody wants in on after I've asked these additional questions? All right. So I'm not going to allow it in right now on this record. If it becomes relevant on a rebuttal case, depending on what the defense, if the defense puts on a case and what they do, in order to get this in, you're going to need to, well, you probably honestly would be asking to get in something else, which is like your medical records through a doctor and not through this way. But I'm not going to let it in right now.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So
I found the old $900 house. I'll show the street view after.
Thank you, Your Honor. Commonwealth we call William Cole.
That's it. Okay, we're going to go to the next video, but before I do that, let's just share the screen. So here is, oops. So this was the house, and you can see right up there, that was my window up there.
Mm-hmm.
My little room, 940 Thomas Street.
That's
like
Where did people get shanked?
Well, they didn't get shanked, but this is where
me.
this was the DEA raid was over. This one that was the dual door
the meth house. Okay.
Yeah, that was the trouble spot. Interestingly enough, we had a church right over here. But walking
so it's
down
unusual that crimes happen around Christians.
No, these were not Christians. Walking down this street, walking to this corner at night was very. I mean, there was no Boost Mobile at the time. Where these were like burned out buildings. It was frightening. Walking down.
That's nice. That's nice.
Those are the kind of neighborhoods that scare me, actually, because I'm not used to that.
Well, there's no lights.
There's nothing going on. Exactly.
Well, there's no lights, so you'd see people just walking up, and then you're getting you can't ever carry cash because somebody's gonna be like, hey, you got $5, and you're like, no, dude. Yeah. Never walk alone in Grand Rapids. Okay, so let's see here. Part 5. Here we go.
You were just talking about the health rating. I just want to talk to you a little bit about that, okay? So the health rating, that's a New York Life health rating.
Yes.
And so is that like someone in risk assessment and underwriting determines the scale that you just talked about?
Yes.
So
No, there'd be gunshots and stuff, but I mean, it never like hit her house or anything.
it's not a medical professional or a doctor reviewing this information and giving this arbitrary number to someone who's applying for insurance.
I don't know who that person is, so I can't tell you.
You had mentioned that when Ms. Walsh applied for life insurance, part of it is this health assessment, right?
Yes,
And this was in March of 2021?
I believe so.
Do you need to look at the record? Would that help?
So if anyone missed it, the policies were started March and June of 2021. So it wasn't like he just got them right before he killed her.
Probably.
I think they're right in front of you.
Let's see, February 2nd, 2021.
Okay. After February, you said 2nd of 2021, you didn't have any follow-up records, interviews with Anna Walsh about her health.
No.
You had mentioned that someone goes and draws blood and does a urine test.
Yes.
What does the blood test? What does that look for? What does it test for?
I don't fully understand, but the things that it does push out that are common are as if there's evidence of nicotine, if they're smoking or using nicotine. It'll show if cholesterol levels is usually the types of things they're looking for. They're looking for abnormalities. I don't really quite frankly understand what they're looking for.
Everyone, let's try and get those likes above 100. We're at 83 with 126 people here.
And then you said a urine test. What are they looking for in the urine
If you don't get above 100, Suma's going to cry.
test? That's an alcohol, legal drugs, I'm assuming
I mean,
alcohol?
Suma's going to cry
Nicotine.
no matter what.
Okay. Is there any type of
If you don't get above 100, I start taking wrenches.
analysis of the person's pulmonary system, their lungs and their heart capacity?
I don't know.
You don't know. Is there any type of evaluation of their neurological system?
I don't know.
Like some
And
type of sudden
the
death
February
syndrome.
2021 thing that you're talking about, I think you said that part of this health assessment, this number you give, is based off an interview with the person?
Part of the underwriting is a telephone interview, yes.
Okay, telephone interview with the person trying to get insurance.
Yes.
And I think you already said it, but you can't get life insurance if you don't go through this process.
Correct.
And I think you had also said that the healthier you are, the cheaper your premiums can be or the cheaper you have to pay, which makes sense.
Yes.
So it's beneficial to someone when they're applying for life insurance to hopefully
So,
be
I mean-
at least reporting or be in the best shape physically and I guess
Spoiler alert for those who are just kind of passing along. The main point is she's saying it wasn't a real full health inspection.
physically. That's the way to say it, maybe.
Yes.
Okay. And I think you said that you asked them about if they engage in any high risk activities, right?
That's part of the telephone interview. I don't ask that, but the company does. Yes. Yes.
Okay. So I'm assuming the reason you asked if there's any high risk activity is to see if they live a lifestyle where they're be more likely than someone else to get injured or killed.
Correct.
So bungee jumping
Bingo.
is a no for me. It's just, okay. So the only way that you might find out if someone is engaging in high risk behavior is if they told the underwriter on this telephone interview.
That's one of the ways. Yes.
So if someone did engage in arguably high risk or dangerous behavior and they didn't report it to you, you wouldn't know.
Correct.
Okay. You had mentioned that Anna Walsh had two different policies. One was a term and one was a whole.
Yes.
Okay. Now, am I correct that it's common for young married couples or people with children to come and get life insurance?
Yes.
Okay. I'm just going to ask you just to lean into that microphone a little bit.
Oh, shut up, defense attorney. Shut the You're wandering around just shouting at the ceiling. We can barely hear you.
For you to lean into, lady.
Yeah, and it gets annoying because he's so close. It's like,
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
and I don't like the redirect on this one either.
So, and when married couples come to get life insurance, it is more common that the other spouse is the one that's
That
the
wasn't me.
beneficiary.
That was him.
Very common.
Okay. So if the husband gets it, it's the wife. If the wife gets it, it's the husband.
Yes.
And if they have minor children, is it still that the spouse is the beneficiary because they're going to be using that money for the care and protection of the children?
Yes.
Okay. Your company, New York Life.
Kim Caltis says, dang, hear me out. That was a pretty decent neighborhood for a trap house. Y'all had higher class of red line than we do down here in Texas. Y'all had better yards than our Highland district. Well, I will say, again, most of our neighbors were totally cool. It was surprising that the DEA showed up twice. We're like, what is going on? And then somebody would get out and like do a little sea walk around the car. Like, what is going on?
Cute doggy.
But the lawns, the lawn took care of itself. We didn't own a mower. Right? It's Michigan. The lawn dies in the winter and then it kind of grows back. And then,
You guys also do financial planning and retirement planning. Like that's kind of the whole company. Okay. And so is life insurance, and we'll talk about the difference between whole and term. Life insurance is a type of financial planning and thinking about retirement in the future, right?
Yes.
And so it's something, again, family.
And I'll tell a funny story about the neighborhood. The last day I was there at the end of the street.
These married couples, it's common that they come to you for this.
Yes.
Okay. Now, a term life insurance policy, that's something where you pay monthly, and if you die, the benefits get paid out.
Yes.
Okay. But is there a way that you can have a term life insurance policy and that can get converted into another type of policy where you can take loans off it or it can grow at cash value?
Yes.
Okay. And so even a term can start at something that isn't worth anything unless someone dies, and you can turn it into some type of investment or access to finances.
Yes.
Okay. Now, a whole term or a whole policy, that's a little bit different, right?
Yes.
And so I am definitely going to fumble this because numbers is just not my thing. But this is where you can have a whole life insurance policy and you can borrow off of it.
Correct.
So if I have a whole life insurance policy and something unexpected happens or an expense comes up, I can actually borrow off this policy.
Yes.
And am I also correct that if you do borrow off this policy, there's a tax advantage or a tax break? It's like a 401k tax you pay? You explain it to me.
You can borrow the cash value without paying tax on the accumulation value.
And in the whole policy that on the Walshe app, who would be eligible to take a loan off that policy?
The owner of the policy, who was Anna.
So even Mr. Walsh, who's her husband, he couldn't sign and take a loan off that whole policy without her.
Correct.
Okay. Considering that these policies have some financial value to them, does divorce ever play a role in policies and paying out on a life insurance policy, a whole policy? Is divorce something that clients have ever asked you about? That's probably a better question.
Is divorce? I don't understand the question. Okay, sure.
So if a whole policy has cash value and people are married, if people are going to get divorced, is there ever a question in any of your clients' minds? Well, hey, I've been paying off Bill's policy for 8 years. I should have some of that.
Yes.
Set the foundation.
So you had told us that some of these life insurance policies are an asset. It's a way to build cash, build for retirement, and you can access money from, right?
Yes.
And if someone, and you might see a whole policy where two people are married.
Yes.
So if one spouse has a whole policy, you told us that they're the only one that can actually sign the paperwork to get assets off of it, right?
Correct.
Okay. So, and on a whole policy, I'm assuming you have to pay a premium every month.
Yes.
And so have you ever had to talk to a prospective client about how divorce could affect who owns access to that policy, or is it a non-issue?
Objection.
You can answer. Have you ever discussed it with another client, any client?
Yes.
You had mentioned that Anna had a policy. My understanding is, I think you said that you got to Brian Walsh off a lead off the internet.
Yes.
So that means he was looking for insurance, and does he pop in something and you see it and you give it a call?
Yes.
Okay. And am I correct that when Mr. Walsh initially contacted you, he wanted the insurance?
Objection.
And I want all of you to think of what the number one question you should ask this guy if you're the prosecution. Based on the defense trying to say, like, oh, there's nothing going on here. With the life insurance guy on the stand, what is the one question they should be asking? Somebody put it in the chat. I know somebody else is thinking it.
So initially, when you followed up on this lead, Mr. Walsh had applied for health insurance through you.
Insurance.
Excuse me, life insurance. Yes.
Yes.
And he was rejected. And he was rejected because he had a felony conviction from his federal court case.
No.
Why was he rejected?
He had a pending case.
Apology. So it was because he had a pending federal case.
Correct.
And you didn't just stop at that one application. Am I correct that you applied to several other policies or companies to try to get him life insurance?
Yes.
And I think at one point, did you even reach out to other colleagues for help and how to get him life insurance?
Yes.
And it's at that point where he was consistently being rejected in 2021 that it was an afterthought, like, hey, we're going to go with Anna and get her insurance.
Objection.
Sustained.
During the time that Mr. Walsh was applying for life insurance, during that time frame, Anna Walsh never applied for life insurance.
I'm not sure.
Well, what do you mean you're not sure? She didn't apply with it through you.
She applied. I don't know when the one search for Brian's life insurance ended and where hers began. I don't know if the two overlapped.
But her, as you say, her search for life insurance was an afterthought when you were working with this family.
Sustained.
Your Honor, may I be seen at sidebar?
Yes, you may.
So you were a life insurance salesperson?
Yeah.
Okay. So then your job is you meet with clients and families and try to sell them insurance that they need and want.
Yes.
Okay. And it's not uncommon, or probably it's more common, that you work with couples, married couples, people with children, right?
Yes.
And so these life insurance policies, they're for the benefit of the family as a whole.
Yes.
So in this situation, you had told us that Mr. Walsh numerous times applied for life insurance policies and was consistently denied because of his pending federal case, correct?
Yes.
And you're working with the family at this time.
Yes.
And I'm assuming that when you were going through this with Mr. Walsh, actually, he even referred you to other friends and colleagues of his.
Yes. Objection.
I think it's time to go to lunch.
All right.
Understand, sir, you're still under oath.
Before, I was talking again about how you sell policies to individuals and families when it comes to life insurance.
Yes.
So when you're selling to a young married couple, both parties might have life insurance policies,
Yes.
and each of them would be the other one's beneficiary.
Yes.
And when people have kids, then that's another consideration because they want to make sure if something happens to one parent, the other parent and the children are okay.
Yes.
So in your role as a life insurance agent, would you categorize life insurance policies as something that's an investment for the whole family?
Sometimes.
Okay. And in this particular case, am I correct that all three children had whole life insurance policies as well?
Yes.
And Anna Walsh was the beneficiary of those.
Yes.
So she would have been the only one who could have taken out a loan against any of those policies.
Yes.
Okay. I was asking you before about how Mr. Walsh had been denied several
Wait a
times
minute.
for.
Wait a minute. Well, didn't he say in the opening that they had $1 million whole life insurance policies on the kids that they could borrow against? Isn't that what they said?
Oh, I don't know.
We don't know.
Maybe they were talking about their own, but I just feel like they said it was against the kids. I
Health
don't know.
insurance.
Life insurance.
Life insurance.
Yes. Yeah. It's okay. Yes.
Sorry. So you had mentioned that Brian Walsh had, I guess, requested life insurance online and you picked it up as a lead and you reached out to him.
Yes.
And you began applying for life insurance policies for him.
Yes.
When you began applying for life insurance policies for Brian Walsh, Anna Walsh did not apply for any life insurance policies.
Correct.
At some point, Anna Walsh did apply for a life insurance policy.
No, I know Anna did, but I thought they just said the kids had them. I thought in the opening they said they could borrow against the kids. I may be remembering it wrong. But
And that was after Mr. Walsh consistently was denied because of his open federal case.
Correct.
How did it come about that Anna Walsh would apply for life insurance?
I don't remember the conversation.
Okay.
It probably was my recommendation.
So it was probably your recommendation that Anna apply because Mr. Walsh was getting denied.
Correct.
Okay. Is it customary once you sell a policy, I don't know if that's the right term, that you might stay in touch with your clients if they ever have questions in the future about their policies or payouts or any beneficiary questions?
Yes.
So people can email you or call you and say, hey, I have a question about this policy, right?
Yes.
After Anna Walsh and the children were insured in February of 2021, at no point did Mr. Walsh ever email or call you and say, hey, how do I... I'm speaking,
yeah.
lady. Okay.
No, I apologize.
At no point did Mr. Walsh ever contact you to ask you about getting paid out on any of Anna Walsh's life insurance policies.
Correct.
Overruled.
because that would be, I mean, kudos to him. He didn't do that major blunder that everyone else does.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised.
Yeah. He at least, well, I mean, because most of his crimes, he's very keen on how to get the money. Like, he doesn't think about the other stuff, but like, how do I get the money? Oh, I can't ask for it right away because then it'll be suspicious.
She can answer that question.
And at no point did Mr. Walsh ever contact you and ask you about taking out any loans or how to take out loans on any of the children's life insurance policies or on Walsh's life insurance policies.
Well, you just said he couldn't do it. So why would...
Objection.
Overruled.
Correct.
Nothing further.
Redirect.
No, Your Honor.
How are you not going to redirect that? Here's the question. And sorry, I don't know if somebody answered in there. Suma, X-Derek, what is the one question you need to ask him? Right here.
I don't know.
Did he try to take out a loan?
No, you're overthinking it.
I'm overthinking.
Mr. Selvaggi, if it were determined that somebody... Selvaggi. If it were determined in any policy that the policy beneficiary murdered the victim that the policy was on, would they be entitled to a payout?
You mean if the person was murdered?
If the person that's the beneficiary murdered the insured
I'm sure
person,
there's a clause somewhere in there.
Would the person that was the beneficiary still get the money?
Mm-hmm.
No, because they murdered him.
Right.
It pays out to her kids, right? Whatever. But if you are the murderer, you're not going to get the money.
Right.
If you were found to have caused the death,
right,
you're not going to get the money. How do they not ask this question?
Yeah.
Refocus to the
I think it's almost too obvious.
Yeah, me too.
But it's so obvious they didn't
but
even
you're right.
do
They
it.
should still touch upon it. Yes.
Right, because they're going like, oh, well, you can take all the defense is going, well, you can take loans. There was no financial problems at all. Listen, his motivation for it to not be murder is he can
what
get
do we
paid.
hear about, people? What is the one thing
Right.
he's trying to cover up? Yeah.
I can't. That
I mean, if she was just found dead, he would get the money.
It drove me insane when they didn't ask that. I was waiting because I thought, oh, it's going to be on redirect. No redirect. What?
Commonwealth would call it Davis Gould. Sir, could you say your name?
All right, so there's a lot of skipping here, but this is the DNA guy for the forensic lab. And I've got a lot of this cut out. So basically the cadence goes, hey, do you remember this bag, number one? What was in it? And then he'll describe what's in it, right? And then they'll show the picture. So I've got basically do you remember this bag? Hey, Miss, and then when it goes to like Miss, whatever her name is, please show the photos of this, blah, 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 blah. That's cut out, sped up. So he's going to describe it. Then we see a picture and we're going to rapidly go through this. But that's the sped up parts. There's not really a whole lot of information because there wasn't really any results presented that I saw.
My name is Davis Gould. First name is spelled Davis.
Where do you work, sir?
I work at the Massachusetts State Police Crime Laboratory in the Criminalistics and Crime Scene Response Unit.
I would like to ask you questions about January 9th, 2023. Were you working that day?
Yes, I was.
And at about 2:35 that afternoon, where did you report to?
I reported to the Cohasset Police Department at approximately 2:35.
And why were you at the Cohasset Police Department?
I was requested to process a vehicle involved in an incident in Cohasset.
And what was the overall condition of the interior of the vehicle?
The interior was overall very clean with miscellaneous items throughout most of the vehicle.
Now, sir, what did you observe as far as any staining inside the vehicle?
There were two areas of visible staining that I noted, one being a red-brown stain on the front driver's side visor, and then there was brown stains noted on the front passenger side visor.
Can you show us where you found gloves on the passenger side?
Yes. So on the right-hand side of the photograph on the floor, there are the light blue-colored gloves. Those would be the two gloves that I observed on the floor. This is the open center console between the front driver and passenger seats with 16 examination-style gloves inside of it.
Totally normal, right?
Yeah. If you're color people's hair.
You know, I know this is crazy because I have the box of gloves and I can never find a set of, like, if you take them off, right? I only use them once, right? I'll put them right back here so I can use them again, right? You'd never find the two gloves again, right? It's always just one and the other one. And he's got 16 pairs in there.
Yeah.
It's almost like he was working with lots of blood or something.
Right.
It's weird.
Leaves them in there.
But hey, don't you know, jury? He had no problem with them examining the Volvo because he's a idiot. If I have 16 pairs of gloves in my center console, I don't care if nobody is missing. They're going to know I'm up to some shit.
Absolutely. Certain things.
What are you doing, sir?
Wrong.
Why do you have this many gloves? A drug testing lab doesn't have this many. A hospital it doesn't have 16 pairs of gloves together. Come on. Look at this cute picture I just found. Look at that.
Aww.
Is that Chloe?
Yeah, it's Chloe in a little cat carrier. She obviously I don't need to say it. She obviously loved it, and she did not scratch the hell out of my arms.
Yeah, I bet.
No.
She has the
Love
look
that
of
stuff.
murder.
How cute she is.
Now, with this test, were there any areas that tested positive?
Yes, there were.
What areas of the Volvo tested positive?
Of all the areas I examined, there were 5 that tested positive for blood screening. One was the front driver's side seat controls for the front seat. There was an area on the second
seat controls. That's your left hand when you're adjusting the seat. Blood in your hand.
row passenger floor mat that tested positive. The third row passenger seat was folded down, and the backside of
passenger floor mat where the gloves were at.
that screened positive for the presence of blood. And 2
The folding seat where you put your shit.
additional areas on the mat that was in the trunk that was covering the trunk storage space. There was 2 mats, one area on each of them, test screened positive for the presence of blood. And these were areas that I did not observe any visible staining.
And, sir, how many areas do you think you tested overall in the Volvo?
Overall, I would estimate approximately 40 to 50. I covered a lot of the contact areas, so steering wheels, door controls, the radio controls, handles, door pulls, the floor mats, the brake pedals, and many areas inside the vehicle.
And so, did you have the opportunity to take any samples from the car?
Yes, I did.
And so, what did you take as far as samples from the Volvo that day?
From the Volvo, I collected the hair I previously mentioned, or the apparent hair that I mentioned from the exterior front passenger door handle. And then each of those 5 areas that screened positive for the presence of blood, I took samples from each of those individually for further testing back at the laboratory.
So,
all right, so he talks about how he's down at the dump site where they got all the garbage, right? And then they picked out the stuff they wanted to test.
My main role was to assist with the other units that were present and to sift through the items in those.
Again, people, if this is good enough, this is how I'm going to do the rest of the trial, presenting it, right? Like, we don't need to hear him saying, I'm surrounded by piles of garbage and I was with officer such and such.
Bags to determine what items would be relevant for forensic analysis, and then which units would be responsible for taking those items back to the laboratory afterward.
and this bag, sir, that we see on the screen for Exhibit 52, did you have the opportunity to know what was inside this bag, bag 1?
Yes, I did.
Can you tell us?
All right, Lady Dragonborn. Oh, Suma's dragon. Suma's tired. Even though I made this as short as possible for you.
All day except for sit on the internet.
What was discovered inside of bag 1?
Inside of bag 1 was a pair of green boots,
well, the first step is a mini.
You knew that was going to come back. You knew
a black jacket with red brown stains and a bracelet inside of the pocket. There was a black purse with red brown stains, a black wallet, and a pair of headphones inside of a case, as well as a pair of socks.
Was anything discovered as far as car keys?
Yes, there was a pair of Volkswagen keys as well.
Are these also the contents of that bag?
Yes.
Bye, lady.
Inside of bag 2 were 2 white towels with red brown stains, as well as a piece of tape with apparent gauze and red brown stains inside of it.
Sir, is that one of the towels that was found inside of bag 2?
Yes, it is.
Oh,
geez. Is that the second towel that was found inside the bag, sir?
Correct.
Hold on. I'm going to move. I got to.
This guy loves pulling holes out of things.
Look at that. Look at that towel.
I would call that a red stain, not a red-brown stain, but that's me.
Did he describe it as a red-brown stain?
Yeah. Well, I think he describes them all as red-brown stains.
Maybe that's just what they look for because blood dries as brown, right? So they're like, if it's brown,
just the way they refer to
flush it down. If it's black, take it back.
What was it? You had a comment yesterday. If the iPad is mini, the
mini pad.
Right, but they were like, if the iPad is mini, then something is skinny.
I don't remember. Yeah. It's something like that.
I don't remember.
As well as a piece of tape with apparent gauze and red brown stains inside of it.
Sir, is that one of the towels that was found inside of bag 2?
Yes, it is.
Right.
Jeez, look at that. I don't even need to know the history of it to look at this to know this was some kind of murder.
Is that the second towel that was found inside the bag, sir?
Correct.
And what's the other items around the towel?
Those are miscellaneous tissues with red brown stains.
What was discovered inside of bag 3?
Inside of bag 3 was a white bathrobe with red brown stains.
Sir, is this a picture of what was found, the bathrobe found inside of bag 3?
Yes.
Bathrobe with blood on it. So this is one thing new thing that you find interesting. Like, oh, there's a bathrobe with blood on it. So was she wearing this bathrobe possibly at the time? Like that kind of,
It is. Inside of bag 4 was a pair of gray slippers with red brown stains, a pair of dark gray slippers with red brown stains and trace materials, as well as apparent hairs with red brown stains.
Sir, do you recognize this image?
Yes, I do.
Directing your attention to this image, the slippers there, which ones are those in the top of it?
The slippers located at the top are the gray slippers.
And at the bottom, what is there next to the left of the jar?
There's a leather strap wristwatch located as well.
And you had said that there was a second pair of slippers.
Oh, by the way, I think the picture flashed back by it, but he talked about the 2 stains he could see right in the car, and them being like, "Oh, Brian was totally open with the being in the vault." They are the fake. I had to squint to see. I was like, "How did you see that?" Like it looks like when you take like just if you'd taken, I don't know, your finger had some ash on it or something, your fingernail was dirty and touched the top. Like, wow, how did you catch that? That's cool.
They're trained to see it, I guess. I mean,
and then he found 3 more sections with blood positive returns that weren't visible.
That was recovered from that bag?
That's correct.
Sir, can you tell us where the second pair of slippers is in this photo?
Yes, at the bottom center of the photo, you'll see the dark gray slippers with the red brown stains and trace material noted on the bottom of one of the slippers.
What is trace material?
Trace material could reference a number of things. In this particular instance, it references the apparent hairs or fibers that I observed on the slippers.
Sir, what is the trace material you saw that night when you...
Look at that. That like hair. Is that what they're talking about? Hair on the top there? You see on the front of the, yeah. It's like
Are
blood.
those his slippers?
I don't know. They look like men's slippers. They don't look like feminine slippers, right?
I mean, they could go either way, I guess.
But they're very wide. I think
yeah,
you
her
have
slippers,
more.
I think, for the other ones. And I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
We're at 304th Street.
In the photo on the right-hand side of the overturned slipper, there are the apparent hairs and fibers that I call trace materials located on the right-hand side at the toe end of the slipper.
What did you observe?
He also strikes me as the type who those would be his slippers, and he would also wear them all day outside going
Yes,
places.
that's his main. That's his daily drivers for his footwear.
Yeah.
As he's walking down to the landlord, here's the check.
Right. First, he has to Google how to pay landlord rent.
How to get mother's check to landlord. Well, don't mind the ankle bracelet.
Bag number 5 contained pieces of rug with red brown stains on some of the pieces.
Sir, what are we looking at here?
So this must be the rug that was in the photo, then, right?
Doesn't
I think
look like it.
It doesn't.
Well, it's all cut up and folded.
These are pieces of a rug with red brown stains that I noted on 2 of the pieces.
Sir, where did you see the...
Yeah, those are definitely red brown stains.
Yeah, that could really only be one thing, probably.
Kool-Aid. Wait, you're saying it? Oh, you think it has to do with a murder? Oh, wrong set. I'm
This
on
is so
the wrong.
like watching music. So sad.
Red brown staining on the rugs.
On the 2 leftmost pieces, the left piece has red brown stains in the bottom right corner, and then the one in the center of the photo has red brown stains on the majority of the piece of rug.
What was produced from the 6th bag?
Inside the sixth bag was additional pieces of rug
Yeah, I think this is the rug. Look, you can kind of see the pattern there. I don't know.
with red brown staining on those as well.
Probably the lighting.
Yeah,
And besides red brown staining from the rug, what was discovered as far as a Tyvek suit?
There was a white Tyvek suit discovered in the bag as well, along with a wrapper for a Tyvek suit.
the Tyvek suit. I mean,
Was anything else discovered as far as a safety goggles or anything like that?
Yes, safety
Hold on,
goggles were
he
discovered.
actually bought a Tyvek suit?
Oh, yes.
yeah.
I thought he was just looking into it.
No, did you see the thumbnail? He's in the big Tyvek suit on there.
Yeah, but I thought that was a joke. I thought
No.
he looked it up.
No.
It is a
He
joke, but it
actually
also
bought it.
happened.
Yeah, this guy is an idiot.
He's also the
Wow.
type that would just, he's just the
A
type of guy that like
meth
gets
tuxedo.
whatever the best possible is for him. Like even cleaning up a murder scene that he committed, he has to get like the,
Yeah, I feel like he got it. He spent like 25 minutes getting everything perfect. And then like, oh yeah, he's got his gloves on. It's all cinched tight, right? He gets about 2 minutes worth of work of dismembering the body. And he has to sit down and be like,
yeah.
this is hard.
As well as additional miscellaneous items.
Sir, do you recognize this image?
Yes, I do.
What is this an image of? Can
This is an image of the safety goggles and Tyvek suit wrappers that were found in bag number 6.
you tell us what a Tyvek suit is?
A Tyvek suit is typically a piece of personal protective equipment that one would wear in order to protect themselves from anything they might be working with.
Sir, do you recognize this image?
I do, yes.
What is this an image of?
Oh,
This is an image
that's the carpet. That's the color. That's it.
showing more of the pieces of the rug.
What are we looking at?
Yeah.
Oh, they said more pieces of the rug. Okay.
This is a photograph of the lower half of the Tyvek suit from bag number 6.
Are they
The 7th
expensive?
bag.
I would imagine not. They don't have any kind of like rated like breathing cleansing or they got to be like,
just
like
suits,
painter's tarp. Like, I don't know. I'll look it up.
Contained a bottle of hydrogen peroxide, a ice pack.
What did you say?
I'll look it up.
What was Suma's question?
If they're
Are they
expensive.
expensive?
Oh, I don't know.
No, I'm looking here shopping. Well, you could go anywhere from the $3 disposable one from Fleet Pride, or there's a $50 one on Uline. There's a $202 one that looks more like durable. So, I mean, I think we know which one he went with. This one looks pretty flimsy. He went with the disposable one. So I'm throwing it away.
A blue flat sheet as well.
And sir, I neglected to ask you about the rug as well.
He's not working in a biolab BSL 3 or 4 level.
I showed you one image, which was Exhibit 121. Sir, what is this we're looking at?
This is another piece of the rug from bag number 6.
Man.
Yeah, that's why they look for brown.
Containing red brown stains with apparent tissue.
And what is apparent tissue? For those I don't know what that means. Not like things, right?
That's correct. Apparent tissue from the forensic perspective is a material that may or may not resemble human skin tissue. In this particular instance, based on my observations, that's what I called it.
Disgusting.
And so in the upper center, what is that brown bottle?
It is a bottle of hydrogen peroxide.
And the cut up like labels off to the side, did you know what those were for?
I didn't know what they specifically were for. I grouped them under the miscellaneous items that were in this bag.
Those look like, to me, those look like the backing of blades you'd get at Lowe's.
Yep.
If you have a situation where you're putting all of these contents into anything and just turn yourself in.
Right. Well, why do all this extra work? You're going to get caught.
Exactly.
Sir, what is it that we're looking at here?
This is a photograph of the contents of bag number 8.
Look at that. Look at that hatchet. Look at this maniac. What he did to his wife. Look at that hacksaw.
And I guarantee you that the tools on the right, the last 3 or whatever it is, had something to do with the search of if you can identify a body without its teeth.
Oh yeah, that's with the dikes and the pliers, right?
Which also shows a complete ignorance of forensics, the
in
human
DNA,
body.
right? Yeah, he's thinking like the 1980s.
Yeah.
And by the way,
just cut the head off. I mean, also, how about just the head? The whole thing, remove teeth is just so stupid.
I needed to clarify, dikes is diagonal cutters. I'm not making fun of lesbians. Sure. Thank you.
Oh my God.
Yikes, that's dikes.
That is horrific.
Yeah, it is terrible.
That's like a horror movie.
Yes.
Yeah. This would make Dexter blush. The killer, not my cat.
He's not the one who lined them all up like that, of course.
8. And what was produced from bag number 8?
Bag number 8 contained a hammer, a pair of wires.
What? But here's the other question. I mean, he must have got the answer from the internet saying, no, you can't get rid of the DNA. But like, why not just put it in the garage or something? These aren't like by themselves abnormal things to have. Right, yeah. I have a hacksaw. I have a hacksaw.
I have a hacksaw. I have snips.
Yeah, I don't have a hatchet, but I have a hammer. I've got, I mean, just put them in the garage.
Snips, a hatchet, and a hacksaw with red brown stains on it.
And what are wire snips?
He couldn't even clean it. He's worried about DNA. He couldn't even get the visible stuff off.
And then what are shears?
They're sharpened tools that can be used to cut an item of interest.
So which one of those two objects is snips and which one is a shear?
The shears are located on the right-hand side of the photo. The snips are located in the center between the hacksaw and the hatchet. The 10th bag contained a large piece of tarp that was taped together, so multiple pieces were taped together to form a larger tarp.
Is this what the 10th bag looked like, sir?
Prior to opening the contents, yes. This is a photograph of protective booties that are worn over the bottoms of shoes.
And where were those recovered from, sir?
Those were also recovered in bag 10 once the contents were emptied.
What is this, sir?
This is a photograph of the tarp from bag number 10.
I don't have a chainsaw, but I would love to get a chainsaw. Even though there's no real trees around me. It's for those windstorms.
Do you need a chainsaw?
Well, no, I want to get one of the battery powered ones. So we're like, when we have the windstorms and there's the trees that are going off the road or across the road, I'd be like the hero getting out there and like going and clearing the road. Yeah.
As it was being unfurled from the bag.
Just wandering around with my electric chainsaw. Okay.
Yeah. Everyone's favorite neighbor.
Okay, Gain.
All right, let's get the last one here. 1 second. Part 6.
What is this image of, sir?
This is an image of additional items from bag number 10, one of them being an apparent piece of insulation, and then some scraps from containers.
So what they're talking about here is basically like, hey, do you use this CODIS or something system, right, for numbering pieces of evidence? He's like, yes. So then they're going to open up these bags over and over, showing these items and then just numbering them. They don't really say anything about the items. They just describe, hey, was this the Tyvek suit that you found in there? Was this the hatchet that we saw in the photo previously? Well, I'd like to label it as evidence item number 34. So this is all, this is a big nothing. Plus, the opening of these bags was so loud on the audio recording. I was like, can they get louder bags? Because he was doing it right in front of the microphone.
Yeah, it's always like that.
So, sir, now I'd like to show you some of these objects. And before I do, do you have any questions?
I do, yes.
I see counsel beside the bed.
Sidebar. And they keep bringing on bags. He keeps opening the bags. Like, yeah, this. I'd like to admit this as evidence number 34. Blah, 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 blah. This is 4,000% speed. It's more than 200.
How many people are on the prosecutor's side?
3, I think.
two broads and this guy?
Yeah. I mean, we could have watched this for 45 minutes if you guys wanted, but
I don't
Nothing
even
further.
want to watch whatever it is.
nothing further.
Cross.
So you told us as you began your testimony that when you went to the scene of the where all the trash and everything was, that people were collecting bags. At one point, you had to then take out some of the evidence and put it on the paper to quote preserve the integrity of the evidence.
It's very hard to hear him, but he's saying you had to take this stuff out and put it on a tarp to preserve the integrity. And I think his point is like, hey, you don't know what is blood transferring between this stuff because it's all kind of mixed together.
Yes.
And when we talk about preserve the integrity of the evidence, what we're trying to do is what all of you are trying to do is make sure that you keep it in the same condition that it was in when you found it, correct?
Exactly. Yes.
Hello, Danielle Siobhan. Side by. Gotta say side by up in Secaucus.
Now, do you know anything about a trash compactor that was taken to that area before you arrived?
I don't know any specifics about a trash compactor. No.
So can you tell the jury if you have any information that some of this evidence has been introduced that was taken out of a dumpster there, that it had first been in a compactor and then transferred to the dumpster, or you just don't know?
I do not know.
And what does this matter, Mr. Defense Attorney? Okay, so there was blood on some of the items. How does that? So you're saying the like the hacksaw and stuff? Oh no, that was transfer from the shears, right? He wasn't using all these tools.
When you talk about the integrity of the evidence, it also includes trying to preserve the fact, as best you can, of how a particular item that was stained is not stained by another one. Is that fair to say?
That's fair to say. Yes.
So when you're handling this evidence that you're collecting, you're really taking care not to have one item touch another item, because you don't want a transfer between biological evidence between item 1 and item 2, correct?
Correct. To the best of my ability. Yes.
Sure. And in this case, and in the collection of this evidence, it's fair to say, isn't it, Mr. Gould, that you have no way to know before you were able to begin your examination of these items at the scene how they had come into contact with each other, either within a bag.
I really don't understand the line of this questioning. What does this prove?
Just being pulled out.
He already admitted to dismembering the body
by people before you arrived.
And there's no knife.
That's true. He already said he was guilty of that.
Right. And there's no knife. I could understand this point if it was the knife that was there, even though the Google search is there, right? But the knife, it has her blood on it, but it could have been transferred for something else. It didn't mean he stabbed her. What are we talking about?
Before I arrived, correct.
And there is such a thing in your expertise in forensics that includes characterization of transfer of biological evidence, correct?
That is within the realm of our responsibilities. Yes.
And what that simply means is that one item that has some either biological evidence or something else, if it comes into contact with another item, it can transfer that to the other item. So item A that may have had a red-brown stain on it, I transfer some of that red-brown stain to item B, whereas before, item B never had a red-brown stain.
That's correct. And the term we would use for that is called low cards exchange principle.
And that would include, for instance, if you were looking at a pair of slippers like we have in this case, and you see in one of the photographs that there looks to be apparent hairs attached to the slippers, it could very well be that those hairs that are seen attached to the slipper, they could have transferred to that slipper because they were already in the bag or they came into contact with something else.
Absolutely, yes.
And so it's fair to say then that when you're out there, very careful, and with all the training and experience you have, there's no way for you to be able to tell a jury, with regards to this specific case, how exactly some of this red-brown stain or biological evidence actually came to be on any piece of evidence.
Correct. I cannot say the manner of deposition. I can only confirm its presence.
And so it's fair to say, isn't it, that there could very well be some of this evidence that now, when you look upon it, it has a red-brown stain on it. That red-brown stain may not have been on that piece of evidence when it was, in fact, initially placed into, for example, a black bag.
That's possible, yes.
In the photographs that were introduced of the scene where you went with all that trash and garbage, it's fair to say that a lot of that trash and garbage had absolutely nothing to do with this case.
Correct.
How did you differentiate at the scene what applied to this case and what didn't apply to this case?
Mainly once the discovery was made of red-brown stains on items, I was looking for any items of interest that might be in with those bags that have those red-brown stains on them as well, to try to establish any potential biological connections with the items in those bags.
And we saw a lot of photographs, but some of the photographs appear to have some of the items that were eventually taken into custody by you and given a lens number, like you described for the jury. Some of those items, when they were first taken out of the bags, it looks to me like they were placed directly onto the floor of that warehouse.
Yes, they do.
And the floor of the warehouse actually looks somewhat damp in the photographs.
It does, yes.
And it was in fact damp.
I can't recall exactly the conditions, but it does. It is the floor of the facility, yes.
And so it's fair to say that a lot of it's fair to say that you have no idea what was originally on the floor of that warehouse before you arrived.
Correct.
You just know that it had the appearance, it may have been damp, but you don't know what caused the damage.
That's correct.
And then these items were placed on that. Items, like for instance, the items have been admitted into evidence here, and they could have been then be caused to be dampened by what was on the floor of that warehouse.
That's possible.
Mr. Defense Attorney, I'm looking at that towel and I'm thinking there is a 0% chance that it got all that blood on it from the floor. Okay.
Well, yes.
And then what happened was, once again, in your very earnest desire to preserve the integrity of the evidence, you then took a lot of these physical pieces of evidence and you placed them on, you would call it, what do we call it, paper?
Yes, we would refer to the white parchment paper, typically in the lab as bench paper.
And that's what we see in photographs.
Yes.
And then, after you collected these items, you then transported them or caused them to be transported to the lab at Mass State Police?
Yes.
And I thought I heard you testify that you had them transported to various parts of the lab?
The evidence, I believe what I had said was that the evidence will eventually travel to its respective facility where it needs to be stored. But I did submit at one laboratory with all the items.
You did?
Yes.
And after you transported the items to the lab, did you have any further, did you do any further work on these items?
No, I did not.
Well, thank you, sir.
Any redirect?
No, Your Honor.
Witness may step down. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Your Honor, may we approach?
Yes.
Okay, so then we think we get into end of day court business.
I don't know if I saw his mother today.
Circling back to a couple of things we spoke about earlier
I
today.
didn't.
Handsome woman.
So the
handsome
Commonwealth's
woman.
motion with regard to the guilty plea was filed on Sunday night. And I frankly had asked Madam Clerk if she could check because my recollection was that the defendant never filed a written. I know you've been busy. I just want to make sure I have all the paper in front of me. Is it correct that you have not filed a written opposition?
I haven't had the chance to address it, but I will have something emailed to the court by tomorrow morning.
Okay. And so here's, with regard to that, let me focus you a little bit more precisely, which is, I want that to address what relevance does the defendant's plea of guilty, not his taking responsibility by testifying.
I mean, I just included this because it's, maybe people want to know this, but pretty boring to me.
Consistent with the expected evidence presented in the opening. I lied to the police. I improperly disposed of my wife's body.
I like this, Judge.
What relevance does the fact of the plea, if you are seeking to get the plea in, of guilty to indictments or counts 2 and 3, have to any permissible fact finding that this jury would do, recognizing that the jury is prohibited and will get an instruction consistent with almost every criminal case, that they may not
more
consider
entertaining
punishment or the
things on here.
consequences of its verdict. So one of the things I'm concerned about is in line drawing, that I'm
Oh,
inviting
that's
the
so
jury, if I allow them to hear evidence that he pled guilty, then I'm inviting them to do exactly what I'm going to tell them not to do, which is you are not to consider jurors. You stay in your lane, I stay in mine. So it's not clear to me entirely. And it's, again, no fault of the parties. You may be thinking through a lot of the information I gave you earlier today. But think about now whether A, you are seeking to admit that he pled to those 2 counts. And if you are still seeking that information, what relevance does it have to this jury's permissible job? All right. So let me see if I made myself another note. When's the Commonwealth going to get me the FASTO things? The reduced FASTO text messages.
Your Honor, I had a chance to discuss the messages with the Commonwealth. And my position, and I alerted the Commonwealth to this, is that if the court was inclined to allow even some of the messages, that my preference is the whole package of the messages that they initially wanted to come in comes in whole.
So basically she says, hey, if you're going to allow any of the messages in, I want them all in because we want context of the fast out messages. Her
So
boyfriend.
relevant or not, you wish me to put it in?
Given the court's ruling that some of the messages are coming in, it is our belief that the context of all the messages
Is more beneficial as a strategic matter for your client?
it's strategic, it's relevance, it gives a full context. I think otherwise you'd be able to cherry pick certain statements and make an argument that another argument
Hello,
could be made
Winter
on the
Lake.
exact opposite side of the coin had the other parts been admissible. So it is a strategic
I
request.
said this probably a million times. You know the evidence better than I did. I started before I assigned the Commonwealth to reduce. I started to try to reduce it myself. And I was able to reduce
I
it. But
just realized I think you missed a super chat before from Emma and Emily.
Oh, sorry, Emily.
Sorry,
Rewatch Crew tomorrow after
told you
B-Day
that.
dinner with my mom in 2 Long Islands. Don't worry, I'm not driving. Please split with Suma because I love you both equally.
You always split with me.
Suma gets everything. I have to pay the taxes. And then Emily again, $2.
Because everyone was wishing her
missed-
happy birthday because they misunderstood.
my mom's birthday, not mine, but thanks, friends. $2. Thank you. And then
bad dinner.
I missed the second one from my pro se client with two Democratic people of North Korea, $17, whatever he was saying earlier. Hear Me Out got hooked up, more like he got hooked up his ass. Oh! And remember, after we're done watching this, I'm going to give you a story from Hear Me Out, Michigan.
Again, I don't know your cases nearly as well as you do. I'm just consuming it as the jury's consuming the evidence.
Tales from Thomas Street.
Thank you, Interlake.
Anything, those are the two things that I want to talk about before we suspend it for today. First, go to the Commonwealth, and then I'll go to the defense. Anything that the Commonwealth needs to talk about.
Your Honor, with respect to the text messages, we did send counsel a copy with names and images of certain individuals blurred out and redacted. I don't know that that's an issue with.
It's just the text content. I don't care about the photographs that are blurred.
All right, so particularly of the third parties, the minor third parties that are in those text messages, those absolutely need to be blurred. But you're not suggesting that the photo, or maybe you are suggesting that the photo that Anna Walsh sent at 10:07 is blurred.
No, Your Honor, only the third party minor children.
Okay, all right, that seems appropriate. Anything else from the Commonwealth?
Nothing else from the Commonwealth.
For the defense, anything you want to raise with the court?
I think what everyone wants to research and get an answer to is the 1020 maps that we were discussing at sidebar. Which again, I think we all just need to open a book, so to speak, and hopefully have information for the court about that, because that's relevant for Friday.
Right. There's a lot to unpack there from what my preliminary research revealed, but I haven't had a chance to read it. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ron.
Good night.
All right. So now we'll get into the Hear Me Out story. That was day 3. All right. So it's not a long story, but
I'm sure it'll seem long.
It'll probably seem long. All right. So you gotta put yourself in the mindset of like who I am at this point. This is the end of my junior year, and we are moving out of this house on Thomas Street, moving to a different house because we're gonna get more roommates. We only had 3 roommates at the end because one, like I said, was really a bonus room. The other bedroom, you had to walk through the bonus room to get to that bonus room. And then another bedroom was down on the main floor, which was like an office. So it didn't really work out. But we went to 3 roommates. So it was $300 a month. So these are the motley crew of roommates that followed, right? But the guys that lived there were the guy on the far right, the guy, you could tell which one's me, right? I got the pink jacket on. And then the guy right behind me, who was my best friend in college. Okay, so the 3 of us
I can tell by
today.
the way you're all dressed that you've all got a fantastic sense of humor.
Well, it was an 80s party, but
I rest my case.
So we're moving out and I'm going back and I'm driving the Civic, right? But yeah, like again, like I don't shy away from it. I was working at Abercrombie, so I was wearing all the cool stuff or whatever. I was walking around in the A&F short because I could get the discount on them, right? But ridiculous. I'm walking around in sandals in the winter and all that stuff. But I'm driving my Civic, and the streets there's cars parked on both sides, so it's basically just almost like one lane, right? And you meet an oncoming car, you kind of pull over, and then somebody comes over the side. And I used to just race down this street, not 80 miles an hour, but I was going like probably like 40, right? Way too fast for resident. And then somebody would always the roommates would be like, man, someday you're gonna hit somebody, right? And I'm like, yeah, whatever. So this is the last day. I'm going back to the house literally for the last time to pick up some whatever knickknacks are there still. And I'm actually going slow. I'm going the speed limit. I'm going 25. And then all of a sudden, these like I showed you earlier, the houses, they're all kind of ramped like this on this, or our house really wasn't that much, but you can see further down if we go here, like you get to some ramped driveways where kids can just come like over on the side here, they can come out, right? So, and you got to remember there's cars on both sides of the street, so you can't really see anything peripherally. And all of a sudden I'm driving and this kid must have been like 8 or 9, comes out on his bike right in front of my Civic, hits I hit the bike. He like rolls up over the top of the car, and I was just like, oh my God, I hit a kid. Like the warning everyone told me about, like, someday you're going to hit a kid. And I was like, but I wasn't doing anything wrong. And then I get out, and like I said before, this is a predominantly black neighborhood, and I am probably the whitest person that has ever lived in this neighborhood.
White as you can get.
Fletcher boy said you hit a crackhead.
No, he was a nice kid, right? Like but there's all these kids playing and everything. And so I'm sitting there and I'm decked in my ridiculous shit, right? Whatever. I'm just like,
you guys in that neighborhood.
Yeah, you guys must have been.
Hold on.
So popular.
How did you not get killed?
Hold on. I'm standing there. I get out. And I'm like, dude, are you okay? And the kid runs off or whatever. But then I'm like, what do I do? We got to call 911 or something. And then but it was like there must have been 20 kids out there, and all of them start going like this. They're like, man, we saw you. You just came up and you was like, wham! That's I remember it. Oh, I can fix my chair. That was the phrase they kept saying. They kept literally doing. They were all doing like, yeah, he was like, wham! Like making it sound like I was going. Right? What?
Was the kid fine?
The kid he ran off. I didn't know he ran off.
Right.
And I'm just sitting there and I'm sweating. I'm like, well, anytime you hit a kid on a bike, it's never starting out great. Right.
Right. It's not an ideal situation, obviously.
And I was like, and all these kids are sitting around going like, he was like, wham! The bike's on the ground. And I'm panicked. I'm just because I live out there, right? I'm planning on going home like the next day to Washington. Right, I'm thinking, I'm like, am I getting arrested? I'm going to spend my summer here in Michigan for some crime that I didn't actually do. Like the kid came out in the street.
Yeah.
And then, but people could obviously see the panic. And there's this nice older couple. They must have been in their mid 40s or early 50s. And he was standing there. He's like, dude, I got you. I saw the whole thing. You're fine. And so the cop showed up and he's like, no, he was driving slow. The kid just ran out he drove out in the street. And I was like, thank you so much for being here and not being like everyone else and be like, oh, you dead, boy. And I'm like, what?
Well, also, obviously you were driving slow or else that child would have been really injured.
Yeah, that kid would have gone flying.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, but it was just like, how do you prove?
Winter Lake says, did you scream not intentionally?
I didn't even have the right mind to scream not intentionally. I was just like, I was doing the prayer to God, be like, I will never drive again if you let me out of this thing.
Praying in all different languages.
Anyway, so that was day 3. Well, I have another story, but I'm going to tell Suma and next Derek on the side.
Yes.
You need to see the guy in the orange there. Just get a nice mental image of him because the story I'm going to tell you is about him.
Okay. I've been to my memory.
Got it.
And I'll just secure. He's born and raised in Pontiac, Michigan. He's jacked and stacked, and it was my roommate.
Ooh, like Carter.
Upstairs, like Carter. Yeah. Anyway, thank you everyone for being here. Thank you, Suma and Eric, for hanging out. I don't know. Are you both going to be able to stay here tomorrow? I don't. Do they're having trial tomorrow, I believe.
Yeah.
Right. I think they said Friday was going to be a shorter day, but
Monday was pretty short too.
I believe I can do tomorrow, but send the link. We'll find out.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for being here. Don't forget to delete your archives. Hit the like button on your way up. Remember to sub if you like this kind of content, and you'll get more. And kiss your finger. Anything else you guys want to say on the?
Thanks for being here and hanging out.
Rose.
All right.
Kiss me face.
Bye.